So I need to create the legislation that, like for Wednesday, he said that it's legislation that dictates how we receive packages. I don't know. That's what he said what the government has to supply. So I gotta see if I can modify it. But I'm good on that.
Do I ring this bell? Yeah, we got what, 1 minute? No, it's 7:01. Is it? It's 7:01, right, Tamara?
Well, I'm not sure that.
Let me get my phone first. I'm watching.
Now, which one is that, Cliff? Yes, yes. That was that's the one they did tonight. Is that one they did it tonight? I didn't.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the council chambers. We are ready to start, so if everyone could take their seats, and we will begin the council meeting. This is a conference meeting of the City Council of the City of Orange Township held in Council Chambers, City Hall, 29 North Day Street, Orange, New Jersey, on September 3rd, 2024 at 7:02 p.m. Roll call. Councilmember Coley.
Present.
Councilmember Eason. Here. Councilmember Hilbert.
Present.
Councilmember Montague III.
Present.
Councilmember Ross.
Here.
Councilmember Jamie Summers.
Here.
Council President Wooten.
Here.
Also present is Joyce Lanier, the city clerk, Tamara Robinson, the deputy city clerk, Chris Hartwick, the business administrator, Derek Brown, the fire chief. Okay. Representative from the law department? I saw some.
Aaron is right.
Oh, okay. Aaron Mizrahi. Law department, Marlon G. Towns, legislative research officer, Vincent Vidiello, police chief, here. Marguerite Homier is absent, and Tricia Scipio is here. Can we please have a moment of silence?
Council President,
Yes, Councilman.
can we have this moment of silence for Elroy Corbett?
Yes.
Thank you.
His
No, his mother.
His mother.
Council President, can you say who passed so they can know?
So it's going to be a moment of silence for Councilman Corbett's mother.
Thank you. Please be apprised, anyone wishing to discuss agenda or general items shall sign their name on the comment sign-up sheet and will be allowed a maximum of 5 minutes to interact with the council. The requirements of NJSA 10:4-9 et seq, the Sunshine Law, has been met. A notice of this meeting was sent to the Star Ledger, published in the Record Transcript on July 11, 2024, posted on the bulletin board in City Hall, the council's website, the city's website, and filed in the office of the city clerk. So for matters of discussion, we have Deputy City Attorney.
Aaron Mizrahi, he's going to speak to Daniel's Law and also to heavy equipment park in residential neighborhoods.
Okay, so to begin, I just wanted to I'll speak about the heavy equipment parking. So the members of the public should be aware that parking of any kind of commercial vehicle overnight on street in the city of Orange is prohibited. That is anywhere, whether or not permit parking is required, it is prohibited, and the police department is going to begin enforcing that much more seriously. To repeat that, I don't know if everybody has heard, but parking of any kind of commercial vehicle, whether it is on permit area only parking or non-permit area only parking, is strictly prohibited within the city of Orange Township. The police department will be enforcing that regulation much more strictly as we're moving forward. I also wanted to briefly address the issue of Daniel's Law, which came up during a previous Zoom session council meeting, and the issue of who is entitled to Daniel's Law protection and in what context, and the measures that our city council is taking in order to ensure that those who are protected under Daniel's Law are afforded those protections. So for those of you who are not familiar with what Daniel's Law is, it is a law that was passed by the New Jersey State Legislature in response to the brutal killing of a judge's husband and son by a person who appeared as a defendant before that judge, had found that judge's information online, was able to go to her home and carry out these brutal crimes. And in order to protect certain members of the judicial and law enforcement and legal community, Daniel's Law was enacted, which effectively allows active and retired members of law enforcement, the judiciary, and attorneys who are prosecutors to register with the State Office of Information Protection. They're afforded the right to request redaction of their name from certain records that are put on public-facing websites of any government agency. That could extend to things like deeds and tax records. But what it does not extend to is public forums like the council meeting, unless they are posted online. So for that reason, what the council will be doing, we will not be live streaming any council meetings on any online platforms. It will be broadcast on Channel 35 during the meeting, but in order to allow those who are afforded the right to Daniel's Law protections to request that protection, videos of meetings will be held for a period of 24 to 48 hours to allow those individuals to request redaction of their home addresses, and that way we can edit that information out, or blur it out in some way so as to allow them to be protected. So if there's any questions on that from council members, I'd be happy to.
Yes, Council President. To the City Attorney, can you just kind of explain more in detail on what commercial vehicles are? Because some people just feel that a commercial vehicle may be like a large truck. It could. We passed an ordinance a few years back. It is any type of van that has the ladders and things, and they may not have the markings or the commercial plates. Can you go into detail about that, please?
Sure. So you don't necessarily have to have commercial plates on your vehicle if it appears that it's being used for commercial purposes. It has markings of a business, logos of a business, but it doesn't necessarily have commercial plates. The police will still consider that to be a commercial vehicle, so those are also prohibited.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, Attorney Ms. Raheem.
Thank you.
Council members, the resolutions and ordinance on tonight's agenda, are there any conversation or discussion that you would like to have at this time?
Yes, 395, 2024. I guess as you get into the regular meeting, I just want to pull that for a separate vote, if you don't mind, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Cole?
Yes. Mhm.
So you want an explanation of it?
I pretty much know it.
I got it.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, all right. So 395, 2024 is a resolution to have a pilot program, whereas one of the council meetings per month would be held out in the community. So it will be held in each ward. So we will have a council meeting here in the chambers, and then we'll have a council meeting in the West Ward, South, East, North, the various wards of the town. And I propose this legislation because in talking to residents in our neighborhoods, a lot of people can't get to the council meeting for one other reason, like, for example, the seniors, and they would very much like to be involved in this process. So I talked to a couple of council members on the team, and they agree that in order for us to be more transparent, in order for us to be with the people whom we serve, it would be nice, it would be great if we could go out into the communities with our council meetings. But, I mean, it's on the agenda to be voted up or voted down. You have another question?
Thank you, Council
Okay,
President.
thank you, Councilman Cole.
Council President,
Councilwoman Eason.
400-2024, do we have to go to executive session to discuss that one?
Did you say 400?
Yeah.
City Attorney?
I guess I don't understand. I've never seen it be done this way before. So I guess I'm trying to
if you-
understand, why do we need to do that?
Well, it's something that the city council has to certify through resolution, but if you wanted to discuss the specifics of it, we would need to go into executive session, yes. But it doesn't need to be voted on or, but if you did want to discuss any specifics regarding it, we would go into executive session.
Through you to Mr. Harvey, isn't this the first time you put one on the agenda that way?
There was one other time since I've been
Is this a
here,
new policy?
and it was asked of us by the State Retirement Pension Board that we adopt this resolution.
Okay, all right. That's fine, thank you.
Mhm. Anyone else?
Council President,
Councilwoman Hilbert?
through you to the business administrator. My question is in regards to 404-2024 for the REOC development. So with all of the lots, I believe it's like about 9 of them, does this also include the old gas station that used to be over there?
The one that's up by South Center Street?
Yes.
Yes, it includes all of the properties on the south side, well, all the properties on the north side of REOC from South Day to South Center, and all the properties on the south side of REOC from mid-block to South Center.
Okay, and did the previous owners fulfill like all the necessary mandates with EPA, making sure that the air was remediated and cleared out?
That was an issue that had to be resolved between the buyer and the seller. So
Did they show you the
they
city
would have-
proof?
They would have to come forward at some point with a no further action letter for environmental purposes.
Okay, so that will be after we authorize them as a developer, and then they'll include that in the later paperwork?
Well, it's just a preliminary designation.
Uh-huh.
It allows them to actually do some planning, and I would presume get into the environmental issues at that point.
Okay, thank you.
Council President.
I'm sorry, Councilman, I'm not finished.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Council President, for 402-2024, through you to Director Mays. Is he here?
No, so it would go to
Oh,
the
Business
business
Administrator?
administrator. Mhm.
Okay. Is this going to be the sole program that we're going to have for trees and agriculture and open space, green spaces? Or are we still going to consider doing the Shade Tree Commission?
Well, the administration hasn't made a determination on the Shade Tree Commission or a recommendation to the city council. That's something that's still under consideration.
Okay.
So for the time being, the process that's outlined or has been outlined by Mr. Mays and this resolution are necessary to move forward with the grant.
All right, and my last question is for Council President Wooten. For Resolution 392-2024, for the appointment for Budget and Finance?
Yes,
Yes. So you removed the West Ward appointee. Can I ask you why?
I did not. I can appoint as at large.
Right, but
So I
that
can appoint whomever I wish to appoint.
So that appointee has been appointed to me for the past 2 years. She's the West Ward appointment. She
Yes.
has been since the previous council person.
Okay.
So there was never a conversation prior to this notice here.
So I asked all the council members to turn in their appointments since there was none turned in. And I know this person has been on that committee for several years. Prior to you even becoming a council person, I appointed her because I didn't want to lose her.
So again, there was no conversation between you and I had a conversation with the clerk's office to always renew her when it came for her reappointment time. So moving forward, I hope that you will actually practice fairness and professionalism and reach out to me prior to doing something like that. And I would also like to recommend that we amend this on record to say that she is the West Ward appointment.
So I'm not going to argue with you. And if you sent this to the clerk's office and I can see the faces of my council members, can you send me that email or that memo that you sent to them in writing? And secondly, I'm an at-large council person, and that means I can appoint anyone from anywhere in the city to any committee legally.
No one said that you could not
I'm-
appoint her. Hold on 1 second, because it's not an argument. I'm just stating
It's not.
facts. It's not an argument. I'm just stating facts. You can appoint anyone, but there was no conversation. And I had a conversation with Ms. Scipio that if Ms. Perkins' appointment time came up, that I would automatically reappoint her because she is one of the longest-serving people from our community who does enjoy participating in this local government.
I
you.
understand it, but we're going to move the
Thank
agenda.
you.
You're
Next
welcome.
time, conversation. Thank you. Moving on.
Can I make a brief statement? Like a brief statement? We are back in the council chambers, right? This is our first meeting back, and it is not a time, nor is it a place for whatever that was. I've been a council member since 2016. I'm an at-large council person. I can appoint whomever I like to appoint wherever. And I just want to say to my council colleagues and to the audience, like, this is a place of respect. This council chambers is. And anybody and everybody has my telephone number. So I would ask you to kindly and respectfully call me on the phone and have a conversation with me.
Council
This is a
President, I
new,
don't
this
want
is a
you to
new
think.
horizon that we're on. It's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be outstanding. Nothing is gonna take the joy away from us being back into These chambers, nothing. We are a community, and we've been through good things and we've been through bad things in the city of Orange Township. We have, and now it's time for us to move forward. We got important business to do as a council, as a city, important business, as a people. We have 2 elections that are coming up, and we have to band together, because we should be thinking that we're in the fight of our life.
Council
So I'm not
President.
gonna fight
Council
with my
President,
council colleagues.
this is not a
I'm
fight.
not
I will
acknowledging
not-
you, Councilwoman
No,
Hilbert.
Council President, please, do not use this moment to single me out. Because you said that we're banding together, but yet you failed to have a conversation with me about this. Last Wednesday, we had a conversation, and you said, yes, I will consider putting you on the Budget and Finance Committee. If you're on the committee, you cannot appoint someone. So not only did you not put me on the committee, but then you also took my reappointment. So you can't have it both ways. And if you say that we're going to be respectful, please give me the due respect to reach out to me and say, hey, I noticed that you've been reappointing this person. I reappointed her.
Okay.
Does anyone
Thank
have
you,
any more questions or concerns?
Councilmember
So-
Hilbert. I've been asked to move the agenda. Are there any other resolutions on the agenda that council wish to discuss?
Yes, Council President,
Yes.
through you to Chris Hardwick, 406 and 407. Okay, 406 is rescinding the resolution 152, 2024. But then if you look at 407, which is exactly the same in my eyes, you know, you're doing a renewal. Can you just explain the difference there? Why are we rescinding it and then we're doing a renewal?
I'm good. Defer to the city attorney.
Okay.
This was just a clerical issue. The resolution 152 was originally adopted without a certification of funds. And so in order to correct that, we're rescinding that, and 407 does contain the certificate of funds.
Okay, all right, thank you. And I have one more. This is on the second reading. This is 34, 2024. This is one that myself and Councilwoman Easton sponsored. I need to know what is the proper way to remove this. I need to rectify, change this, okay? There's some penalty on there for what the developer, if they don't follow this, the penalty is $250. I want to change it to $2,500. So how do I go about doing that? Do I have to remove this at this time, or?
You would need to make a motion to remove it from the agenda,
Okay.
and for amendment. It would need to start back over at first reading, since that it would be a significant amendment.
Okay, thank you.
So would they be removing it or just voting it down?
They would
'Cause
need to
already-
vote, it would be a motion to approve, which would be voted down.
Okay.
Second.
I have a question. Attorney, Ms. Rahi, I have a question regarding 32, 2024, scattered sites. The administration, you want to explain?
It's 30.
Before we waste a lot of time going back and forth, the administration's going to request that this be postponed to the second meeting in October so that we can address some questions that have come up.
We can't hear you well, okay?
It's like it's off.
That's better.
Okay. The administration is requesting that this be postponed to the second meeting in October so that we can address some questions that have been brought to us within the last couple days from various council members.
Council President,
Council Vice President Easton.
through you to Village Administrator, so it will come back still on second reading? Because my question was gonna be, there was an email about two locations to make sure they were removed.
That's part of the discussion that we would have to
But when
have.
you bring it back, it will still be on second reading, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Any more questions?
Yes, I have one more, Council President.
Councilman Coley?
Where is it at? Yeah, 28, 2024, well, it's tabled, but, the residential parking, permit, where we have it going up to Perot Street, I think it will be better if we, stop it at Wilson Place, because if we take it all the way up to Parole Street, then it will kind of interfere with the parking
school?
in front of the school.
Okay. So, it's 28, 28. So Councilman Coley,
Was never amended.
Say again?
I'm sorry, so I was gonna ask for this to be lifted from the table so we can vote on it. The people on Oakwood Avenue, as you know, and
Yeah,
Hampton
trust me, I
Terrace,
know, I
those
know,
people
I know, I
struggle
know.
with
I
parking.
know, I
And
know.
all this is to move the time up
Mm-hmm.
from 11 to 4, like as it is on Hampton Terrace.
Yep.
Because we see people park there and then walk all the way up to East Orange, and then our residents come home and they don't
Nowhere
have
to park.
anywhere to park. So,
Council President,
Yeah.
if you go back, this was supposed to be amended like 3 or 4 meetings ago, and it never was. Remember, you were supposed to come back and amend that so it could move forward?
it's,
But it just
on
never
here.
got amended. Yeah, this 28, that's why it was still tabled.
It says 4 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Huh?
It says 4 p.m. to 6 p.m.
No, you were gonna amend what he suggested, taking it on to Wilson Place. It was supposed to be amended to Wilson Place, taking out Perot Street.
So,
And it never
Well-
got amended, so that's why it was still tabled. I
So-
don't think the question was about the time, I think the question was about
Street.
the street.
Madam
So
Clerk, can
is
we
that something we could just do
amend
right
it on
now,
it?
amend right now?
We
On-
gotta lift it from the table first. and then
Okay,
we'll amend
all right, thank you.
What was that, 28?
But I guess we should ask the attorney, once we lift it, can we amend it on the floor?
Attorney Ms. Raheem, so once we lift 2824 from the table, can we amend it on the floor from Perot Street to Wilson Place? Yes. So he said yes.
Council
So
President,
28, 2024.
Councilman Ross?
going back to 34/2024, Attorney Aaron, can I amend that on the floor, or do it has to be voted down? You know, the changing of the fine from $250 to $2,500.
Because you're increasing the fine proposed, that would be a significant amendment. In the other instance, we're dealing with making the proposed restriction smaller. It's lessening the restriction in terms of where the permit parking is going to be. So that isn't considered a significant enough amendment to require first reading again.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Is there a motion to adjourn the conference?
Motion to adjourn, Ross.
Second, Montague.
Motion by Councilmember Ross, second by Councilmember Montague III. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting is adjourned at 7:27 PM. Oh, I got it.
Okay.
This is a regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Orange Township held in Council Chamber, City Hall, 29 North Day Street, Orange, New Jersey, on Tuesday, September the 3rd, 2024, following the conference meeting. Tonight, we have a young gentleman, Datcher Ever, from Junior Public Safety Officer, that will lead the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. Roll call. Councilmember Coley,
Present.
Councilmember Eason,
Here.
Councilmember Hilbert,
Present.
Councilmember Montague III,
Present.
Councilmember Ross,
Here.
Councilmember Summers Johnson,
Here.
Council President Wooten.
Here.
Also present is Joyce Lanier, the city clerk, Tamara Robinson, the deputy city clerk, Chris Hartwick, the business administrator, Derek Brown, the fire chief, Alvin White, deputy city, who's from the law department? Oh, I'm sorry.
Aaron Mizrahi.
Mizrahi. Sorry, deputy city attorney. Marlon G. Towns, legislative research officer, Vincent Vidiello. Here?
He just went out.
Okay. And Tricia Scipio from the clerk's office. The requirements of NJSA 10:4-9 et sec, the Sunshine Law, has been met. A notice of this meeting was sent to the record transcript and published in the Star Ledger on July 11, 2024, posted on the bulletin board in City Hall, the council's website, the city's website, and filed in the office of the city clerk. Meeting minutes approval. April 16, 2024, conference and regular meeting minutes. Council member Montague III was absent and should abstain. Is there a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt, Ross.
Second, Summers Johnson.
Motion by Council member Ross, second by Council member Summers Johnson. On that motion, seeing none, roll call. Council member Coley,
Yes.
Council member Eason,
Yes.
Council member Hilbert,
Yes.
Council member Montague III,
Abstain.
Council member Ross,
Yes.
Council member Summers Johnson,
Yes.
Council President Wooten.
Yes.
That's 6 yeas, 1 abstain, motion passed. August 7th, 2024, CY 2024 Budget Amendment Hearing Minutes. Is there a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Motion by Council member Hilbert.
Second.
Second by Council member Eason. On the motion, seeing none, roll call. Council member Coley,
Yes.
Council member Eason,
Yes.
Council member Hilbert,
Yes.
Council member Montague III,
Yes.
Council member Ross,
Yes.
Council member Summers Johnson,
Yes.
Council President Wooten.
Yes.
Motion passed. August 7th, 2024 Special Executive Meeting Minutes. Councilmember Summers Johnson was absent and should abstain. Is there a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt, Ross.
Second, Montague.
Motion by Councilmember Ross, second by Councilmember Montague III. On the motion, seeing none, roll call. Councilmember Coley,
Yes.
Councilmember Eason,
Yes.
Councilmember Hilbert,
Yes.
Councilmember Montague III,
Yes.
Councilmember Ross,
Yes.
Councilmember Summers Johnson,
Abstain?
Councilmember Wooten, Council
Yes.
President Wooten.
Yes.
That's 6 yeas, 1 abstain, motion passed. August 7th, conference and regular meeting minutes. Councilmember Summers Johnson was absent and should abstain. Is there a motion to adopt?
Motion to
Motion.
adopt.
Second, Montague.
Was the motion by Councilmember Hilbert? Yes. Okay, second by Councilmember Montague III on the motion. Seeing none, roll call. Councilmember Coley,
Yes.
Councilmember Eason,
Yes.
Councilmember Hilbert,
Yes.
Councilmember Montague III,
Yes.
Councilmember Ross,
Yes.
Councilmember Summers Johnson,
Abstain?
Council President Wooten.
Yes.
That's 6 yeas, 1 abstain, motion passed. Department monthly revenue collections for June 2024. City Clerk's Office collected $300. Department of Community Affairs collected $14,756. Orange Historic Preservation collected anything. Department of Planning and Economic Development collected $44,687. Department monthly revenue collection for July. City Clerk's Office collected $130, Department of Community Affairs $55,273.24, and Department of Planning and Economic Development collected $102,126. Oprah reports, June 24th, we had 50 requests received, 50 completed, none remaining. July 24th, 61 requests received, 55 completed, 6 remaining. Council reports. There are no council reports. There's no communication and petitions. Citizens' comments on general issues and agenda items. Members of the public wishing to address the council may do during this portion of the meeting. Speakers must sign their name on the comment sign-up sheet and approach the microphone when called upon. To allow maximum public involvement, each speaker is permitted one 5-minute period to interact with the council and must provide his or her name and address prior to beginning any remarks. Visual aids are not permitted. Speakers are reminded to be courteous and mindful of other individuals. Each person has the right to speak on any subject but is responsible for abuse of that right. The city bears no liability for any comments made by the public and maintain discretion to remove any person engaging in obscene or disruptive comments or conduct. The council will consider all comments and questions and will respond if and when appropriate, which may or may not be during this meeting. Please turn off your phones.
Dr. Gloria Bozeman.
Well, I'm a resident, 345 Olcott Street. Thank you for coming back in session so that I can see you rather than see you in the box like the Brady Bunch. I like to look at people. I like to see their eyes and the nonverbal behavior that accompanies your responses to me. So I'm very grateful to have this opportunity to look directly at you and to ask my questions. I will say to those of you who don't know me, I speak very directly. I don't intend to be contentious and don't interpret it as such. I'm simply here for clarification, to pose a question, to receive some answers. So I will begin. I'm watching the clock. I see the timer. At the last meeting, someone mentioned that people should not come to the meeting just to complain, but should come posing some solutions. Well, I want to say that when I pose solutions and they're not heard, it makes me discouraged as an individual to be able to participate in this process that we call democracy. I talked to you about the experiences that I was having during the festivals when the parking on my street became difficult for me and my other residents to be able to freely flow back and forth. We had to stay in our houses because we were essentially prisoners. I made a recommendation. I said that one side should be for residents only, the others for visitors, and that it should be a one-way street during those festivals because they meet, it's a standoff, and it's not just that I cannot park. If there was an emergency, no one would be able to get to me. So I'm asking again that you look at that particular situation and see if there's something you can do about it. I heard last time about low attendance at the committee meetings, and I want to say that I also heard at that meeting that the recommendations that were coming from those committee meetings were not being considered. When they're not being considered, that leaves the residents powerless. We no longer feel as though we want to participate. I said to someone, Madam Council President, I said to someone, I've seen that thing go up consistently on the old Y building that talks about a health and wellness center coming. If it is coming, I'd like to know the plans for it, and I also said I'd like very much to be a part of that advisory board, if there is an advisory board. I hope it won't go by the wayside as it did when I said I had 2 people to recommend for the art, whatever that was, when they were having the art installation. I recommended some names, never heard another word after that. So you make us powerless. You make us feel like this conversation is fruitless, and that makes us discouraged. I ask about the developments that were going up in each and every vacant space available to us. And I wanted to know what benefit is it. It certainly didn't impact my taxes in a very positive way. So what do we get out of this? What do we get out of these buildings going up? You should be asking the developers, what do we get for allowing you to come in? I did hear a discussion that we got $20,000, but in that same meeting, I heard a resident say that her taxes were $30,000. So we talk about a multi-unit building that gives me $20,000 when we are paying that by individuals in this room above and beyond that. And so I'm wondering, what do we get for all of this development except the disruption in traffic flow? What are we going to provide in terms of services for all of these new residents who will be coming into this community? Every time I come to a meeting, there's a discussion about parking. I can't see parking improving if we drop all of these people into these communities, people who will not be making financial contributions to our community. That's not their fault. That's the fault of not having businesses that people may necessarily want to partake in. And so I say to you in summation, I think I got 1 minute, 33 seconds. I say to you in summation, I'm asking you, what is the benefit of all of the construction that's going on? Why are you not looking at us when we make recommendations and taking them seriously and moving forward so that we can visibly see that there is something happening as a result of attendance and vocalizing at these meetings? When we were here, I like everybody. Most of you I know like your personality, but I'm not about personalities, I'm about performance. And so when you come here and we say, no, don't vote on that $5 million increase, and you go ahead and do it, I watch it very carefully. Thank you very much. I watch it very carefully to make certain I'm understanding how different people are voting at different times. I have retired. I got a lot of time on my hands right now. So this time is going to be moving Orange forward. What I got, 43 seconds left? That's a record.
Good job. Good job. Good job. Thank you so much, Dr. Bozeman. I want to let everyone know that because we have someone in the clerk's office that keeps impeccable minutes, so what we've done was we went down and we cataloged all of your concerns during that last meeting, and the administration has given us answers to some of those concerns, but we're going to make sure that we get all of those concerns out. Dr. Bozeman, we have a county representative here, Mr. Bledsoe, and Mr. Bledsoe has been in our meetings for a minute now, and he takes things back to the county, and then he comes back to us with that information. So regarding other things, I'll go to the business administrator or the city attorney, deputy attorney.
Dr. Bozeman, you've asked a number of questions, not all of which can be answered now.
Mike.
However,
Microphone. Mike. I'm sorry.
it's my mic, not me. We've had the discussion before about benefits from the developments that have come into the city. I specifically remember you attending a meeting in which we talked about what we get through those developments. And they include community benefit agreements. They include the turnaround of underutilized, sometimes blighted properties that generate very insignificant amounts in taxes. And the pilot agreements generate significant revenues, albeit not what they would generate if they were at full taxation. So there is a benefit both from a community benefit standpoint as well as the pilot revenues generated. In addition, there are benefits to adding people to the community for businesses on Main Street, so that more businesses on Main Street will either improve or come.
I do. All right.
I hear you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Tanya Paula DeSormes, Ms. DeSormes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Paula Dizom. I'm a resident on 127 Chapel Street in Orange for the past 52 years. This is my first time coming and complain about what's going on Chapel Street. We have 2 empty houses, one on 473 and one on 477 in White Street. And the one on 473 is around the corner on Chapel Street. And the one on 477, the yard is facing my backyard. Since 2017, my husband and I will have to complain to the Department of Planning and Development. We should never have any answer. And it's getting from bad to worse now. We seize everything. Squatters, dumping trash, animal crawling all over. It is a mess. I'm personally chasing people from dumping trash in the yard, especially from the one in Chapel Street. We never got any answer from the code enforcement. And it cannot be going that way anymore. We got so much animal crawling from all over. They're getting into my backyard. And it's getting ridiculous now. I'm begging of you guys to please try to do something for us. Trash is going that high. Animal crawling all over. Squatters getting in and moving in and out and taking everything from that house, especially the one on the corner of Chapel and White. Like this morning, it's not like people telling me. I saw it in my own two eyes. Because I'm just like, I don't want to say that word. But anyway, just this morning, that guy get out. I don't know how you do it. He's carrying everything on the bike. And whatever he doesn't need, he just dump them on the yard. And part of the fence is broken. And all the trash is facing us. Please, it's time for code enforcement to go and do something for those two houses. I cannot take it, we cannot take it anymore, because our grandchildren can even come to our house so we can enjoy the backyard. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Storms.
Mrs. DeSams, I'll have code enforcement there tomorrow.
Thank you.
Darnell Gibbs.
I'll wait for my time. Sweet. So I'm Darnell Gibbs. I'm a resident of Orange. I'm also a protectee of Daniels Law, so I won't be addressing my address. I apologize. Once again, I'm Darnell Gibbs, longtime resident of Orange. I'm protected by the Daniels Law, so I won't be saying my address. All right, cool. So I only had to come and say two things. He was going to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, actually, so in this context, you would say your address, we would then redact it if it's going to be posted online.
Okay.
So
But this is live stream, you said earlier,
it's,
right?
it doesn't, it's not, right, so it's not preserved
Okay.
online, so, technically Daniel's Law is, I mean, if you're making a general comment, it's one thing. If you're making a comment related to, we can waive it this one time,
problem.
but
So
for
what I'll
future
do is-
reference, excuse me, for future reference, so that you understand how Daniel's Law works, it protects private information from being disclosed on public-facing government websites, right? Okay, so I'm not going to answer questions because you're speaking out. So it can go on TV, okay? If it's, ladies and gentlemen, okay. Ms. Campbell, would you like to come up and speak? Or would you like to scream? Would you like to scream throughout this meeting and start making a scene now today? Our first meeting back, you'd like to make a scene, ma'am? Yeah, okay. Because you can't wait your turn? Can we all keep our hands to ourselves too, please, back there? Thank you. So to reiterate, this one time, since we're dealing with this, if you're making a general comment, you don't need to say your address, but for future reference, we're going to put out a process for people to request redaction and things like that, okay?
No problem. But everybody can hear me, yes?
Yes.
All right, cool. So once again, I'm Darnell Gibbs. I've been away for roughly 2 years from military service, so I just got back. But my wife's been keeping me abreast of certain topics, all right? So I literally only want to address two things, and that's it. The first thing I want to address, it may have been brought up numerous times in the past. I apologize, I wasn't here for it, so I'm going to say my piece on it. First, I want to address the parking issue, all right? So I used to be a resident over there on Lincoln Avenue prior to them building that apartment building that's over there, and parking over there was horrendous, okay? Now, you guys just approved, if I'm not mistaken, sometime last week, the planning board, not you, the planning board approved another building, maybe 2 blocks roughly away on Scotland Avenue. To my understanding, I listened to that planning board meeting, and then it's literally a 1-to-1 ratio for the apartments, okay? So if you go to the state website, under State Code 5:21-4.14, it references parking, okay? Depending on how you classify the building that they're building, it states that a high-rise should have a parking space of 0.8 for a one-bedroom, two-bedroom, 1.3, three-bedroom, 1.9. Then there's also an annotation at the very bottom that says should be 0.5 spaces for every one unit, 0.5. So if they're building 30 apartments, they at minimum should be 15 parking spaces for guests, okay? So the parking is suck, it's trash, it don't work, all right? The second thing I want to speak on is taxes. I'm a new homeowner. I purchased my home roughly 2 years ago before I started my last military assignment, all right? As a new homeowner, you get a bill that says your taxes went up. I didn't even have the house for a year. The taxes went up. That's crazy. Whatever. I expected it to happen, so I paid it. I want to keep my house. I want to be on a tax lien sale, right? So I paid my taxes, okay? The problem that I had is that a lot of these projects that I seen coming in, not necessarily particularly here in Orange, but other townships throughout the state of New Jersey, these developers get tax abatements. They get tax abatements for 10, 15, 12, 17 years, okay? It doesn't benefit the resident right away. It's not an immediate benefit to the resident. You want to know what is immediate benefit to the resident? New businesses. You want to know what new businesses I'm referring to? Cannabis. I'm the owner of Pure Natural Vibes, located at 470 Prospect Avenue in West Orange, New Jersey, across the street from Fridays. I'm going to read an article, just to insert for it. Jersey City made $239,000, $239,000 in 6 months in tax revenue. I'm not sure if any of you got $239,000 that you could share with the city. But guess what? Cannabis does. You guys voted no. Multiple people came out and said, hey, yes, we want it. We want it. We want it. And what happened? We still voted no. We're supposed to be the voice of the people. Y'all are not the voice of the people. The people said yes, yes, yes. Y'all said no, no, no. I had to take my business to West Orange. Now I'm giving West Orange tax money. I should be giving it to you guys. I've been living here 15 years. Thanks a lot.
Mr. Gibbs, thank you. Miss Rachel Tennant.
Rachel Tennant, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Rachel Tennant, 461 Waverly Place. Okay, let me start out. 32-2024, scattered sites. I'd like to know how the homeowners were notified. Did they get a certified letter or just regular mail?
Sorry.
Oh, I get a
Sorry,
few.
1 second.
Wait,
I'm
Ms.
sorry.
Tennant.
I'm sorry.
I get a few free minutes.
We good?
Okay, again, 32-2024, scattered sites. I'd like to know how the homeowners on that list were notified. 33-2024, streets and sidewalks, sponsored by Councilman Ross and Vice President Eason. Thank you for that. I think corporations, developers should pay if they destroy our streets and sidewalks. However, on paragraph 185-47, it says improvement at the expense of property owner. Should it say owner, or should it say owner or and/or corporation? But it seems like that's something else that's gonna fall on the homeowners. 185-47. Budget and finance appointments. I'm not happy with the appointments. Because the same people that voted for the $5 million increase is now appointed on that committee. Let me go over the names. Montague, Ross, Eason, and Coley. You all voted yes. So I'm not sure why you should be given this opportunity. Okay. The senior picnic. I'm not sure who's responsible for that, but seems like the senior homeowners were left out. Okay? The seniors from the buildings, they had that opportunity, but the seniors that pay the taxes didn't have that opportunity. Okay? There's something wrong with that. Okay, I emailed the city about garbage behind a property on Conover. I emailed LaQuana Bess and the BA. I'm not going to try to say your last name. I'll mess it up. Sorry. Rats. I've seen a groundhog have a full meal. There's several garbage cans. And I saw the groundhog look up at the bags on top of the garbage can and probably said, I can't reach it. But the garbage bags on the ground, yeah, he got to it. He or she got to it. So there's a lot, and there's a shopping cart in the backyard too. So I was told that code enforcement would visit. Yeah, we need a real visit ASAP to get rid of that. Oh, and the last thing, a city vehicle from recreation was parked in the handicap spot. So can someone not do that again? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tennant. Twana Barrett.
Good evening, Tawana Barrett, 187 Chapman Street. So I'm not even gonna talk about the budget and the $5 million in the taxes. What I wanted, when I came in, you guys were discussing, I'm assuming an ordinance about commercial vehicles being parked. So I know Ms. Wooten, I've also said to you numerous times that New Jersey Core on Hickory Street and Perot, they continue to park those dump trucks on the block, which is a one-way street, Hickory, which takes up both sides. So my question is, when does this take effect? Because if we're gonna do something about it, then we really need to do something about it, because I've already said numerous times that I could have swore the ordinance was in effect a long time ago that commercial vehicles could not park on the city streets. So when are we gonna enforce it? And my statement is, if we enforce some of these violations, then maybe our taxes wouldn't be so high, because I see numerous times a lot of commercial vehicles parked on Henry Street. There's a, I don't know what it's an 18-wheeler truck, is always parked there. So when do we start enforcing some of these violations so we can make some money and our taxes don't have to keep going up?
So, Ms. Berry, it is on the books. Attorney Ms. Rahi was explaining, he gave an explanation as to the code as it speaks to commercial trucks being parked on residential streets. So I'll just ask him to go over that again, and then maybe you and he can actually have a conversation about that, because I think some things may need to change in that law.
Sure. So you are correct. It's been on the books for a long time. We've been trying to enforce it for a long time. Part of the problem that practically we have is that, you know, the police department can only do so much, and the municipality can only do so much. We could write tickets for parking there. And as someone who prosecutes in the municipal court here as well, I could tell you that a lot of times those businesses don't show up. And so what's left are really just tickets that pile up and pile up and pile up and affect their DMV records. And, you know, it becomes much more difficult for us to actually get anywhere with them if they're just ignoring us. So the next steps really come when their DMV records and registrations start being suspended for those parking tickets, which is what we're working on. And I know the police chief is here. We'll work with him. I think you mentioned which street exactly it was?
Hickory,
Hickory.
New Jersey Court, and
Okay.
I did get a letter that was drafted, I think by the mayor, that was supposed to be sent out to the company stating if they continue to do this, that they would lose their, they would no longer be able to do business in Orange. So when are they
Right.
gonna get that letter? Because they actually block up the streets. No emergency vehicles can get through because you have two big dump trucks, and then they park on Perot Street. So when are they gonna be served this letter? So to let them know that their business is gonna be canceled in Orange
Sure.
if they
Well,
don't.
I'll check with the mayor's office certainly and see if that letter's going out. You know, we only regulate certain businesses, and I think dump trucks may be one of the ones that we do regulate, which, so we're in luck in that situation. But, you know, in other situations where people are parking, let's say, a commercial van from a business that's not located in Orange, like a Comcast truck that they're using, or a Verizon truck, those are a little bit easier because we can go to Verizon or Comcast, right? But when it's just a truck that's just parked on the street, it's a little bit more difficult to say you don't have a license or even find that business owner. In your situation, we can certainly address it a lot more quickly, and I agree we should. So we'll address that as quickly as possible. And I think I'll talk to the BA and the police chief, and we'll get on that specific issue ASAP.
Thank you.
Okay.
Gloria Stewart.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Gloria Stewart, and I know I'm supposed to tell you my address, but I just want to point out to the attorney that when I signed in, I noted my address on there. So I'm asking if there's any consideration rather than put it over the system, because it's already noted. But if you make the rule, then at this time I'm going to follow. Should anything happen, I'm coming for you, and that's on the record. I would just like, I'm at 62 Hampton Terrace. It's already noted. But I would just like to start off by saying I am glad for this open meeting. There was a time I used to come to all of them, and it was educational, and I appreciate that you have come. I mean, everybody's in the house. I like that. Standing room only and I was the first to get here, and I had the first seat. But I just want to say, standing room only, and I hope that you keep this going for the community. I was always told, nothing ventured is nothing gained. So I'm looking at this as a new venture, continuation. A couple of concerns I want to bring forward is I'm going to use the handicap parking. Sometimes it's disrespected. People park half in and park half out. So if you're a part of the handicap, you cannot get in it. So I was putting that on as food for thought. Community council meeting. I like that idea. If you give us one meeting a month so that we are closer to the meetings. And then also when the schools were built, one of the things was said, you could use that as a meeting place. So just food for thought. The community center, I see a big picture of what you're planning to do. And those who know me would have heard that I spoke about community centers. That's something I think is needed. And you were also talking about the people, businesses coming in, hold them accountable to building community centers, something for our kids or someplace to go. And I see that you have /health centers. All that sounds good. Another concern is the bikers. And I've spoken to Officer Vidiella, but you know, yeah, if I didn't say it right.
I'm just a cop, more responsible.
Just give it, no, just give it to, blame it on my heart if I didn't say it right.
I love you.
But bikers, I've seen them like take over, look like the street. They rev it up, they have it all cornered off. And I was telling him that a few weeks ago, I'm in the East Ward near the Speedway. They had that whole place carted off with the bikers. And I was told that, you know, they don't sell the gas to them, but they still are there. And I know it's not a good idea to try to chase them, but in your, you know, your wisdom or whatever, you could come up with something maybe to deter that kind of activity. All right, I think that's about all that I need to say, other than I'm happy, glad, Madam President, that you got this all set up. I am pleased. I think I got another minute, and I love being able to see that time. I don't have to, you know, wonder. It's right there in red, which is my favorite color. So I'm just gonna say that you keep it up. I'm a little slow. I'm not as mobile as I've been. Sometimes there's side effects of medication, and so that's one of. But I'm here, and happy to be here.
Amen.
Thank you for hearing.
Amen. Thank you, Ms. Stewart. Sarah Howe. Hi, Ms. Howe.
So good evening, everyone. My name is Sarah Howe. I'm at 47 Cleveland Street, and I just want to say I'm so thrilled to see everybody's face on the council and in the audience. I just wanted to voice, I had one question that was about the scattered site study, but I understand that'll be talked about in October, so I'll cycle back then. My only other comment is just about, I want to add my voice to the support for hybrid meetings. I know it's a security issue. I did hear the whole preamble. I missed a little bit of it, but just in terms of accessibility for residents and those of us who could be on transit or something on our way, it would be really great if there was some way to do it. And it's a technological challenge to overcome, but I'd like to voice my support for that.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Howe.
Thank you.
Brent Engel.
Good evening.
Hi, Ms. Engel.
Brent Engel, 174 Haywood Avenue. Business Administrator Hartwijk, sorry. Thank you for taking care of the leak so quickly. My wife had originally reported it back in May. Don't know why the Department of Public Works couldn't quite get it, but thank you for having it done. And yes, I do agree that when it was raining, now it's time to have some kind of take a look at a water leak, and certainly not on a weekend. We can agree on those things. Decibel readers. I understand that the chief said that they had to send the ones back that they had purchased. Not sure if they've been repurchased, because if they haven't, basically the ordinance you guys passed isn't worth the paper it's printed on. I think there was one other thing. It was a vote at the last meeting. There were, I believe, 3 people who approved it. Somebody abstained, somebody else said no. Originally, they said it was denied, but then the attorney came back and said that may not be true, that it may have passed. So I've not heard either way whether or not that ordinance was passed or not. So I'm kind of curious as to whether or not, he said he had to look at the law. I agree, not an issue with that ordinance. So, you know, kind of curious as to where it fell.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Thank you, Mr. Engel. Vanessa Cuevas.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Vanessa Cuevas, 563 Argyle Avenue. So again, I want to thank everyone for being here in person. I also have the same concern about hybrid schedule. I'm not always available to make it here in person. Sometimes I'm driving in from work, right? Luckily, I work from home today, so I was able to be here. So looking forward if we could see some resolution or some type of hybrid schedule where we can join in, even though maybe the citizens' comments won't be available at that point, understandably, the same way that you can view the meeting right now, but you can't comment. Another thing that I just want to mention is I know everyone was discussing the increase in taxes. I'm noting the same thing. I have 2 residences here in Orange. I have an investment property, which is the 563 Argyle. I have another property with my wife at 351 Alden. So we have been hit 2 times. So we're looking forward to seeing when anything's gonna be done, if there's something, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years, like what is the timeline and where we're gonna see any fruits of these abatements that you guys are giving out? I'm hoping it's not 20 years. If it's that long, I'm gonna have to pull out of Orange. I'm looking to stay here and move with you guys forward, right? That is the objective, but I need to see some actions. I've come to meetings and have made comments. One of my comments, Argyle Avenue, I commented about the parking many meetings ago. I can say that I did see DPW the next day coming on the block, looking at the parking signs. Since then, I have not seen or heard anything else about the parking. Currently on Argyle Avenue between Valley and Voss, and I'm not sure about the whole street, but you could only park on one side of the street every day, every single day. Now, for the people that live on that street, it's a problem. On Voss, we're seeing it. They have that apartment building. People are coming over. I don't know what happened with that apartment building, if they're giving the free parking spaces, if there's enough parking spaces. I'll have to look into that. But we're seeing the people parking on the street, and with only being able to park on one side of the street, we're constantly getting our tenants, people that live there, getting tickets constantly because there is no parking. I'm not sure if there was a parking study done on Voss. I don't know what the results of that was. I remember we had a discussion about that, but I'm not sure what happened with that. I'm really looking forward to, Ms. Willen, you did say that you guys are taking meeting minutes now, and you're coming back with resolutions to our comments. Sorry. I'm looking forward to seeing that. I want to see that you guys are taking us seriously, right? Like, we live here, we pay taxes here. We want to just know that we're being heard and seeing what you guys are saying back to what we're stating. My last comment would be, again, for DPW. The Valley Street paving schedule, I haven't seen it updated. Also don't know if anyone has an updated version of it, or any paving schedule for the town of Orange, and where I could find that, because I looked on the website, can't find it. So I'm not really sure what's going on. I see Valley has been paved, like towards the West Orange side, like towards the 7-Eleven, coming down to the car wash, like, but what about down by Argyle, Tremont, Union Street? I know that was part of it, like what's going on? That's been on the schedule for over a year now. It was 2022, I believe. I haven't seen anything with that, and I don't know what's going on with that. Every time I ask, there is no resolution or any comments back on that. And that's about it. Thank you guys for hearing me out, and I look forward to hearing your comments.
Thank you, Ms. Cuevas. Raquel Palumbo? Is it Raquel
It's
or
Rachel.
Rachel? I'm
I
sorry.
don't know how she signed my name, but it's fine. It's
sorry.
Rachel Palumbo, 351 Alden,
right,
Alden
thank you.
Street. I got confused myself. So for the record, I will say I second everything my wife just said, but to add an addition specifically, more so for North Ward, and I want to say Miss Eason, I came in right when we were talking about scattered sites. I appreciate that you got my email and that you're working on that. Thank you very much for that. So we'll follow back up in October with that. My next, I guess, comment and question is for the water department. I know we manage that now. Well, I don't, but we as the city do. I went down a couple weeks ago to ask a crazy bill. I'll be honest, I was watering my grass, so there's nothing wrong with the bill. But I wanted a breakdown. Like, it just says, here's your bill, it's an astronomical amount. How did you get to that number? So I came down here, took a little while, but I got somebody to explain it to me, the breakdown. I think it would be really simple, like most utility companies do, if you could just simply provide the breakdown as how you got the usage amount. I've done it myself, like I have an Excel sheet to do it. It's not hard, but it would be nice to see that on the bill. I think you guys would get payment a lot quicker. Would have saved me a trip coming down here to figure out, is it correct? You know, it just simply tell me you're 10 units here, this is what the price is, here's the rate times whatever, here's how you get to the total bill. So if you guys could do that, I think that's probably a simple ask. I did leave my comment with the department. I was kind of laughed at a little bit, so I wanted to make it here just so everybody had it. I think it's a simple fix that might help people just in terms of understanding their bills. And then so if that could be, I don't know if that's an easy fix, but if that could be included, it would be nice. My next comment was for parking on Alden Street. So I did see that there's an ordinance, I believe, for Cleveland, and I know it looks like that's being updated, and it looks like there's times now being included there. So you can't park on one side of the street from like 6 to 8 a.m.? Don't quote me. I'm just curious if we could do something similar on Alden. I know we have issues, it's like runoff from Cleveland, and we get people parking there from all over, but I know as it stands right now, it's from either 8 or 9 in the morning until 3:30. So it's that school day hours. If it's possible on both sides to do something similar where it's like maybe only during this pickup or drop off times and it's not like all morning and afternoon, I think that might help with parking.
Council President?
All right. Council Vice President.
I wish you to call me. You walk by my house all day.
I look for you, but
Most of the time I'm in the yard, and I would have pursued that, but I will check on it because we're doing White to Main between 6 to 8 a.m. so that the street sweeper can get in and get out and the teachers can park.
Gotcha.
Because that area is so busy with the drop-offs for the school, there's 2 schools there. So theirs was from 9 to 3:30, so we'll change it to 6
I think that's what it is. It's 9 to 3:30 on
and we're changing it to 6 to 8, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday.
I think something like that would help. If the timing is for the street sweeper, I just assumed it was school because it was like school hours.
Well,
If
we
it's
really, because if we don't do that time, the street sweeper will never get able to sweep that area of Cleveland Street.
Understood.
So that then the teachers can park.
Sure.
Which we know the teachers always need parking, that's not enough. But I'll look at the sign on Alden.
Thank you.
And maybe we can do the same thing on Alden.
Thank you. Just to piggyback off of that, if
Considering that the street sweeper can make that time. Okay?
just to add that same, I mean, if that is an easy fix, I know my wife had mentioned like Argyle Avenue, it's the same thing. You're shut down all day on certain times. I don't know if it's possible, like more citywide, to come up with a street sweeping schedule. I did see the street sweeper, so I know it exists now. But like, if it's possible to coordinate somehow, like a larger schedule, so I mean, it shouldn't be difficult to figure out where it's gonna go at certain times. It probably would help parking across the board. If you know it's gonna be on this street, it gets a couple hours time slot or whatever, map it out, and I don't think that would be too hard to implement, but that, I could imagine that would help with parking across the board. I think that's all I had. Sorry if I went over.
That's okay.
I appreciate the discussions though. Oh, and also hybrid meetings I think would be awesome. We were able to make it here. I didn't hear the security concerns, or whatever the reason is why we don't have it. I was kind of shocked because we were doing Zoom meetings and now it's like we're just here. So I feel like the technology should be there, but I think you would get more participation, and it just would be nice for residents to kind of be in the know, even those who don't speak up, but just to kind of hear the conversations. I think it would be nice to let more people participate however they can. So,
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Quelly Campbell.
Hello. Quelly Campbell, Randolph Place, Orange, New Jersey. I have 4 items this evening to bring to the council's attention. One, I want to echo what Rachel and Vanessa spoke about in terms of hybrid. You guys had the technology portion of meetings down pat. You cut off the chat rooms, you did everything needed to have these meetings, and so all you needed to do is add in the in-person, which you're doing now. So the combination and bridging the two would be like dynamic. A lot of other municipalities are doing this. I don't see why Orange can't join those efforts. The second thing I have is I see the reports on the revenue. In the past, I've asked about whether or not open space dollars that were collected could be added to these reports. In addition, I'm asking whether or not the community benefits agreement money that is coming in, if that could be added as well. Last and certainly not least is my favorite subject, open space, the Open Space Committee. Not sure if it even exists at this point, because anybody who was appointed to it has probably been aged off. I don't know if it's a priority for Orange. It needs to be. Going back to the reporting of the revenue, by law, annually, we're supposed to report how much has been collected. We haven't done that. So that's a reason why at least we should come prepared to report it in terms of the monthly revenue. Yeah, so I really am advocating strongly. You guys know this. It's been over a year, 2 years that I come to you repeatedly about this open space committee. Yes, we are doing some dynamic things with fixing parks. I went by Colgate, saw the beautiful basketball court, saw the beautiful pool. That's great. There's so much more that can be done. Spoke to Green Acres person last week, and they are like wanting to do more where they can do more. There's other funds that's available that can go towards fixing our parks and other open spaces that exist. But if we can't come together, community, city, and the council, right, and discuss the possibilities, then we're stagnant and we're not moving ahead. We're not moving forward, as I've heard a couple of times this evening. Last and not least, and I am definitely not the person to bring this up, but my neighbors could not make it this evening, and so they asked me to mention this, and so on their behalf, I will. We asked for a parking assessment. The Valley area, so I heard Chestnut and Valley, I heard Beach and Valley, I heard Argyle. So in that little nook area that surrounds Metcalf Park and also the new water building that's supposed to be erected, we love some more information on that, but that's another story. We have huge parking issues. 751 is scheduled to be, Vos Avenue is scheduled to be open soon. We was told September. That's bringing more residents to that particular area. We need a parking assessment. We were told it would happen or it would occur. We weren't given dates, we weren't given times, nothing really to kind of hang our hats on. But if that can be something that we can come and talk about and really put a date to an action, that would be wonderful. So yeah, I'll conclude with that. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Campbell. Aisha Samuel.
Aisha Samuel, 401 Highland Terrace, here in Orange. I have several questions. My first question has to do with what's going on with the hospital site. We haven't heard anything regarding the hospital site in at least the last 5 or 6 months. The second thing is what's going on with Highland Avenue train station. Haven't heard any updates about that either. The third one is the I don't know what y'all calling it, but the Scotland Road rededication program or what have you. We were supposed to have community meetings about that, or at least the community was supposed to be informed about that. My house actually sits in this zone. So I need to know what you guys are planning. I need to know what you guys want to try to do with that little piece of land that's right there at the Highland Avenue train station that they were trying to build a 6-story building on that isn't even big enough for a 1-story building, like even for a 1-family home, that would still be not enough space. And I also want to know, because I did send an email about handicap parking in front of my house because people are still getting towed. In fact, on my way here today, there was somebody there who will probably be towed. And I'm going in my house 6 years. I'm tired of this. And I know it's not y'all's fault or anything like that. And I know that you guys keep telling me that you're doing as much as you can do, but you don't have people knocking on your door threatening you about why their car was towed. Y'all don't have to deal with that. I do. And I am at my wit's end in dealing with that. So I'm telling everybody right now, next person comes to my door, going to get a surprise. Oh, I'm saying it out loud. I'm saying it on record because if nothing gets done about it, it is what it is. And I'm a veteran. And I'm dealing with this. And I shouldn't have to. Let me see, the next thing was, what phase is the park project in? The Orange Park? Because I see all of the stuff going on, but I've already asked to get updated about that with community involvement, and that still hasn't happened. Because I am a quote unquote urban farmer, so I have fruit trees and fruit bushes and stuff like that on my property, and I would love to see this at Orange Park. Instead of having male trees that would just spit out more pollen, you should have female trees that could actually give people fruit and feed people, especially because y'all have y'all little food pantry thing that y'all give out like Tuesdays and Thursdays. Y'all could just have people go to the park and get food from the trees. And I have a minute left, but I think that that's about it.
Thank you, Ms. Sanders.
Ms. Samuel, with respect to the Scotland Road property that you're talking about, that property is owned by Hands and New Jersey Transit. There was a development proposal that failed. There was a second proposal that came in on a preliminary basis that also failed. At this point, there's nothing planned for that site.
But what about the Highland Avenue train station?
The Highland Avenue train station project is being rebid, as I announced at a previous meeting. Being rebid because of cost changes to the project and scope changes. And once it's rebid, then a contract award will be made at a future meeting.
And the hospital?
The hospital is currently in a situation where the developer has presented some plans that are under review. They're still doing site studies and trying to finance or raise financing for the project.
But it's
Shireen.
Under review by the developer.
Shireen Williamson.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shireen Williamson, and I live at 447 Alden Street. Wow, I'm happy to finally be in person. This is much needed for our community, because now you can really feel our energy, and not through Zoom. So I'm happy to see everyone that showed up. You can really see our frustration and also our love for this city. I've been living in Orange. I'm a first-time home buyer, going on 7 years. And most most already addressed my concerns. and
Excuse me, Ms. Williamson. We have someone speaking, and Ms. Williamson is speaking also, and it's kind of hard for us to hear her up here. Sorry. Thank you, ma'am.
So most of my concerns were already voiced, but for Alden Street, I know Ms. Eason had addressed it before with the paving. It's bad.
Thank you.
I live right across the street from Colgate Park, and it's bad. Also, the speeding is bad. So I'm not sure what the plans are for Alden Street. Is there any way we could have, as much as I hate them, I hate speed bumps and I hate speed tables, but it's needed because the park is there. I'm a registered family child care provider. I have a daycare, and we take kids to that park, and we've almost gotten hit multiple times with the speeding. So I don't know if that's in the plans to get it repaved with speed bumps. Ms. Eason?
We're working on it, I'm begging, but also she's talking about College Park, not Colgate.
I'm sorry, College Park. College Park, yeah.
So our business administration is taking notes.
Yeah, there's every day. Schools are now about to open. Kids walking from school. I have kids that come from Cleveland School that walks to my daycare and by themselves, and it's to the point where I have to meet them there to get them because of the speeding on the street. I know the cross cars are there, but they're right on High Street. They're still speeding on Alden Street from College Park. Also, my other concern, which has always been one of my biggest thing with Orange since I moved here, about activities for kids. Yes, I know you guys now have activities, but I have a 15-year-old high school who's going to her sophomore year. She's not an athletic child. She's an academic child. There's nothing in Orange that you guys provide academically for that age group. Besides, outside of the school board. Not only that, I had this discussion with the mayor right before the election, and he actually agreed. There's nothing in this town, so my daughter is going to another town. Now, again, I like to see where my tax dollars is going. She's just my child. At least something will be provided for her in this town if my taxes are going up. There's nothing for her age group. She doesn't care about basketball, baseball. She's strictly academic. So I would like to see something academic in this town for children that age group, because not all kids are academic kids, or all age groups for that matter. Again, I'm a registered family child care provider, and I always had parents coming to me asking me what's available in Orange for their age group. And a lot of times their kids are not, what you guys have available, it's not what their kids are really into. So there should be different programs, multiple programs. My daughter goes to Mount Clair for her academic programs. And she's taking the bus to Mount Clair. I would prefer her to stay in the city. So that's one of the things I would like you guys to, again, consider a program for academic girls and boys. That's it. Everybody else? Voice what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Nordia Gibbs.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Nordy Gibbs, Tremont Avenue. I know we had this, we'll figure that out later. I was actually curious, Resolution 403, 2024. It's actually a renewal contract for Zoom meetings that we're no longer having. I'm curious if the council meetings was a part of that. Like I'm not sure what I'm looking at. Just a little explanation. I'm gonna be on board with everyone for the hybrid meeting. I've had to participate in a lot of West Orange's meetings. They do have a hybrid session, no public comment during Zooms, but participants are still able to join in the actual live meetings. So I thought if you already had Zoom, it kind of should be easy. If everyone want to come in person to do comments, that's fine, but everyone else should be given an opportunity to at least watch the meetings live. So I was curious if the council meetings was involved or at least bidded on in this renewal contract that's up for a vote tonight. Scattered sites I'll leave alone for a later date. There's another resolution here, 405, 2024. It is accepting a grant. Curious as to what that funds would be used for, if accepted. And also, my favorite topic, cannabis businesses. So, taxes raised, it happens. Municipal government isn't cheap, but outside of redevelopment, what else can we think about to bring money into Orange? Why, like, I've asked this question a million times. Why are we opposing cannabis businesses? We don't have a choice but to give you money. Why aren't you taking it? I'm so confused as to this. So if someone can just, tonight, I've sent emails, no response. We've had meetings, no real response. If for anything else that you can answer, why not Orange? What is the holdup? Why? It's literally free money. Why aren't you taking it?
Exactly. We agree.
I can stand for my 2 minutes and wait for my answer.
Oh,
like,
you sure
honestly, I'll stop talking so I can get an answer.
Regarding cannabis, Ms. Gibbs, you and I have had this conversation before with
And Ms.
Councilwoman Summers
Yeah.
Johnson. Before, I heard you had a great grand opening at your
Thank you.
I was in Massachusetts, that's why I couldn't come by. But I have spoken to the city attorney and with the legislative research officer. They have drafted legislation. It's gonna go out to all of the council members for them, and Councilman Ross has had these conversations as well, for all of the council members to look at this information, get back what their concerns are, what their suggestions are, and then we will bring that up for a vote with the council. So maybe by the last meeting in October.
Okay.
But we are trying to
Progressively
move
moving
we are,
forward
we
after
are.
2.5 years.
But you know it takes votes.
So, okay, I'm still hopeful. I haven't completely given up. I figured someone would come to their senses at some point. You know, it takes a little time, but we need it. If there's no other option outside of building, like, you got to think about something else that will put money into this township. Like, it's too many parking issues and all. Something else has to give. So, if you need some conversations happening, please call me.
Maybe I'll give you a call.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. That's it for the public session.
There a motion to close citizen comments?
Motion to close citizen comments, Summers Johnson.
Second, Montague.
Motion by Councilwoman Summers Johnson, second by Councilmember Montague III. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Council comments?
Councilwoman Hilbert.
Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone enjoyed their summer. I'm looking forward to taking my children back to school. School starts this Friday, so I wish everyone a safe return back to school and back to a different kind of schedule, the fall schedule, really. I do want to say thank you to Director Mays and the police department for working together to change Frankfurt Street into a one-way. I know it's still a work in progress. Thank you to the business administrator too. Can't leave you out, Mr. Hartwig. This is an effort to make sure that our school zones are safe for our children who are pedestrians and they're walking to and from school if we're not picking them up. Another thing that I want to mention to the community is that this weekend we will be having the Italian American Heritage Festival and the West Ward. So please come out, show your support. We are one community, but we are a very diverse community, and we should join in the celebration of all cultures. I also want to say that hopefully we can address more recommendations regarding like our parking authority and the parking assignments in the West Ward. I do understand that parking is a citywide issue, and I would give as much 100% of my efforts and speak on behalf, advocate on behalf of the residents to see a final solution or a final proposal to solve our issues here in the community. The West Ward will be having a community meeting on September, let me just confirm. Everything is on the cell phone nowadays. West Ward will be having a meeting on September 24th. We will be virtual, and I will extend the invitation via email and also on our Facebook page at West Ward Orange NJ. Again, that's West Ward Orange NJ. If anybody needs to reach me, again, my number is 862-520-7919, and I am here to serve. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me via that cell phone or email. Thank you.
Council Vice President Easton.
Good evening, everyone. And I just want to thank everyone for coming out and for the participation and for the comments and concerns that you shared. I'm glad to hear that we're trying to move Aldine forward. We get some paving because it is bad over there and Cleveland Street. So I'm asking my residents, we continue to stay on that agenda so we can get some help over in the North Ward. I'm just excited. I went to the convocation today at Oprah, and it was excellent. The energy in that room was tremendous. It even energized me because everybody is ready to get back to work, bring the kids back to school. So much positiveness in that school today was really exciting. And I'm happy to announce that on Thursday, I will be standing in front of Cleveland Street to welcome those children back.
Friday.
We're opening,
Friday.
I'm sorry, Friday. I mean, East Orange on Thursday, I'm sorry, on Friday. We'll be welcoming those kids back to school. No more standing in the rain, no more standing in the snow. They will have a brand new building. And you should come over and take a look. It looks great. It looks great. So I'm really excited about that. And I want to thank for all of the parents that participate in us getting that school finally renovated. And now we just need the street paved, Cleveland Street. Thank you so much. Thank you. And that's all I have.
Councilman Coley.
Thank you, Council President. I'll be brief. It is very refreshing to see everyone here in council chambers. I was having some reservations about coming back into council chambers and sitting here listening and feeling the energy and the personal conversations from people. I'm glad that we transitioned back to the council chambers, and I wish, and I want to say that I wish that all our meetings will continue just to be here in the council chambers, but that's something that we will work on, and I'm glad the city attorney gave the explanation at the top of the meeting regarding the commercial vehicles. That has been a issue for a long time, and I just hope that the issue and the enforcement pick up a little bit, so those problems will be rectified. And like my council colleague said, the Italian festival, it's a good festival. I've been going for a lot of years. I remember years ago, one year, we had just came back, from Wildwood, and we went, to the festival, and we got there right at the nick of time. The band, they was in the middle of performing, and it was a late August day, and I'll never forget, they had sang happy birthday to my daughter's Crystal 6th birthday. And she turned 27 not too long ago, so we've been going there for a lot of years, and the festival has grown and has gotten better, and I just hope to have a good time. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman Carter. Councilman Montague?
Good evening, everyone. First thing I want to say, this is very, very refreshing that we're back. You know, I've only been in the council chambers 2 times since 2020. So this is beautiful. I feel the energy. I hear you loud and clear. You know, a lot of faces I've never seen before. I think Rachel Tennant, maybe she said it, or somebody said it. I'm used to seeing everybody on a screen, like the Brady Bunch. I don't know who said that. But this is a great situation. I have a question for Mr. Bledsoe.
Excuse me for one moment, Councilman Montague. Mr. Bledsoe, would you, he is our county liaison, so you want to tell the people a little bit about yourself and what you do as liaison? I'm sorry, Councilman Montague.
Definitely. Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, members of the council. My name is Reginald Bledsoe. I have the honor and privilege of serving as the Township liaison for the Township of Orange. In my day-to-day role, I have the opportunity of doing DEI work, diversity, equity, inclusion work, specifically in the LGBTQ space. I have the honor of serving as a director in that role, in my day-to-day role, and just happy to be here, as the councilman mentioned, and as most of the council members echo. It's refreshing to be here in person. I'm one call away to the residents. We may not always get it right, but we will figure it out. We will go to the county and ask for answers to your concerns, specifically areas that has jurisdiction by the County of Essex. So when we're talking about Central Avenue, when we're talking about the project in Monty Irving Park, we hear you, we're noting them, and my practice as the liaison is to come back to this body and come back to this administration with some updates from our organization. So at this point, through your chair, Madam President, I'll field the question from Councilman Montague.
Thank you, Mr. Bledsoe.
First question. I've been getting a lot of complaints about the Scotland Road Bridge. There's a big pothole. I think we fixed it as a city last year, but now it's back. You know, a lot of people complain. I just want to know who would be responsible for that.
If it's a county road, it'd be our responsibility to address the problem. Scotland Road and where, specifically?
We have problems with the county. I think the city, we had to, am I correct?
No, the county did it last year.
Okay.
The county did it last year.
Yeah.
The same pothole is back.
Okay, I'll make a note of that. But through your chair, Madam President, to the BA, we can coordinate a conversation with the Public Works Department.
And how far are we with Orange Park?
I know that construction has started.
Yes.
Right now, I know that the baseball field is being worked on as we speak.
Right.
The plans for the actual community center, we're still moving forward to finally get some foundations, some infrastructure there as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's all. Thank you, Madam President.
Oh, no, it's not. I'm sorry.
Oh, you want to ask him a question?
Yeah, I just want to ask you a question. I asked this question at the last meeting, but you weren't present. It's about the deer population in the city of Orange. And I'm sure other municipalities in Essex County is having the same issue. They're just overpopulating the city of Orange. I mean, they're in my yard every day, every day. I think they even had babies in my yard, okay? Really, I'm telling you the truth. They're eating up all the vegetation, and it's just crazy. I'm just wondering if the county has any programs in effect to, you know, maybe dart them, you know, and take them back up to the reservation, or birth control because they're having babies like crazy.
So,
I mean, for real, it's funny, but it's not funny. I mean, they're all over the place, and it's got to get worse.
so through your chair, Madam President, to Councilman Ross, we do have our dairy management program where there's a portion of the later winter where certain parts of the reservation where individuals can secure permits to shoot them and deal with them so that the population is not breeded into towns like Orange and West Orange. So there is our dairy management program, but through your chair, Madam President, I can talk extensive with the councilman about what that program looks like.
Sure.
In terms of transporting animals from Orange itself back to the reservation, I don't think that's a possibility, but to control the population is through shooting and the dairy management program.
Anything would be helpful.
Duly noted.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you.
And to continue, I'm looking forward to the parking authority to begin. Chris Hartwick, when do we expect that to begin?
You're going to get the council's going to get a memo indicating the appointments that have to be made, and the administration, in conjunction with the council, will begin advertising for people who want to be commissioners with an outline of what the duties and responsibilities are to collect resumes so that the council can review them.
I appreciate that. So over the weekend, we had some great back-to-school events. I think it was 3 over this weekend, am I correct? And a lot of kids were provided supplies, books, clothing. So I'm welcoming them back to school for Friday. On Friday, it was wonderful. I had an event at Colgate. Of course, the citywide one on Central Avenue. So it was great. I guess that I'm out of time. Thank you. Hey, they have to do it. We have to do it.
He was like, I'm out of time. They was going off for like.
Wow.
And Ross laughing right there.
Yes.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead. Councilman Montague.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So, let me just be clear to everyone. I hear you loud and clear. My goal is we gotta find a way to stabilize these taxes. I'm a homeowner as well. It's getting out of control. I hear you loud and clear. That we are diligently working on solutions to bring more ratables, pathways to home ownership, things of that nature. I'm constantly in meetings, with the business administrator, the CFO. We have to get this under control. We have to get this under control. I'm committed. I am committed to make this happen, to try to stabilize the taxes in Orange, New Jersey. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Ross.
Thank you, Council President. Councilman Montague always steals my thunder, But I'm also very excited about being back here in the council chambers. This is my 3rd time in this chambers in 4 years, and it's good to put a face with a voice. So thank you, everybody, for coming out. And we do hear your calls loud and clear, okay, about taxes, about parking, about cannabis. And believe me, we all live in this city too. We all pay taxes, and I'm not happy either, okay? And we're trying the best we can, as hard as we can, to try to stabilize taxes, try to do something about the parking issues. We've been having meetings with the administration regarding parking and alternatives, solutions to parking, and also we're having quarterly meetings regarding the taxes, so we can make sure how this money's being spent, where it's being spent, and where we can curb, the expenditures. So we hear you, and we're working hard to make these things happen, all right? So don't think that we're just listening and not doing anything about it. But, and yeah, Main Street is a mess, you know, with parking also, okay? But we're working, so just give us some time and we'll figure it out, and we'll need your suggestions and recommendations also. So continue to talk to us and let us know what you feel, what you see, and give us great recommendations, and we'll try to, you know, make things happen. But I hope everyone had a great summer, okay? It went by very, very, very quickly. And I can say the summer in the city has been very busy and fun. Our summer camps was full and fun-packed for the kids. All of our parks was busy. The pools was open with swim lessons. The spray park was open. There was movies in the park, basketball and volleyball games. National Night Out was fun. It was a pleasure meeting and greeting and talking to residents and the block associations. Almost every weekend this summer there was something to do, okay? There's festivals in Orange Park every weekend. As you know, the county is working hard and fast on improving Orange Park with a new new baseball fields and community center. These last 2 weekends, as Councilman Montague said, was book bag giveaways for the kids throughout the city. All the kids who wanted and needed a book bag should have gotten one. And if they're still in need, let us know. We still have some available. I just want to say to all our council members, let's rally behind our new president, our new council president, by working smarter and together to move Orange forward. And I have a question for you, Chris Hardwick. What's this Tompkins Street? I think that's the worst street in Orange right now. That street, you cannot go down that street without getting a flat tire. Is there any plans to have that street repaved shortly?
I'm looking right now. I thought it was on the list because you can see the cost.
Tompkins Street was planned to be done with CDBG funding from the allotment in '23 between Freeman Street and Forest Street. It's either going to be done this fall or in the spring.
Okay. Sooner the better. Sooner the better. DMV was here in the city. What, last week was it?
Yes.
Sensi? Last week, DMV?
Yeah, on the 21st, they will be back on that's when that's when the 19th of September. DMN, the Department of Motor Vehicles, will be back in the city. But if you want, please register. They only take 40 registrants at a time. If you walk in, and I'm sorry, Councilman President.
Because I was going to ask you to talk about it.
If you walk up, if you decide you want to walk up, but because you can't register, you can't get on the link, you can walk up, but just be patient because they're going to take the people that are registered first, but they will get to you, and you might be there for a moment. So just be patient. And it'll be back on September the 19th from 10 to 2. And then we're back on October the 21st,
Okay.
I think, for 10 to 2.
Thank you for that.
And I have to change it on the website because I think we have the 21st for September, and it's really the 19th.
Okay, thank you.
And one last thing, there is a PCC meeting September 12th from 7 to 8:30 at the police department. Please come out, show out, talk to the police department about any issues, any questions that you may have. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Summers Johnson.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to read from my paper so that I don't vary off. Greetings, Orange residents and the Orange community. I'm very happy to be here in person. It's a long time coming. However, for the past, I would say, 3 to 4 years, when I speak during my council comments, I always comment about okay.
It's all right.
I always comment always comment about raising my parents. And I know this is a business meeting, and there is no place for our personal family issues in council meetings. Unfortunately, I have to be human first. On August 5th, my father, my hero, my Superman, passed away. Thank you for your condolences. I received a lot. However, on August 7th, I made it my business, even though I was told not to grieve. I attended the budget hearing because, again, there's no place for personal family issues in council meetings. I was on that meeting for one purpose, and my purpose was to vote no on the budget. I'm still grouped in with those that voted yes, and I respect their vote, but I voted no, and that keeps getting lost in translation. I know emails go around, I've seen them. It keeps getting lost in translation. Cannabis. Not only am I in favor of cannabis, I held several meetings about cannabis. I don't have a friend that doesn't have a cannabis dispensary, but none of them are in Orange. They're in Plainfield, West Orange, you name it. I've always asked for other ways for us to bring in revenue, and cannabis seemed like the easiest. And I felt, even as a teacher, that just an average kid could not be able to walk in there. So I not only want it, but I can't wait to read the new legislation because we need it. The residents voted yes, and even after that, we went door to door doing petitions for cannabis. I want to start back up my South Ward solution-based meetings because yelling matches, I can't. I can't give you any energy, I just can't. You just be mad. I want solutions. Your ideas are awesome, and there's a lot of times where I can honestly admit we have been told things, we have told you things, and things didn't work out that way. So it looks like we're not telling you the truth, but sometimes we're telling you what we were told. So I don't talk about what streets are gonna be done until I have a letter from the mayor and I'm going door to door to say we're doing your street next week, you can't park on, that's where I'm at. Just because I've had streets on the list, Tompkins, you can see, like, I guess you call it cobblestone, the brick, you can see it, it's been like that, I think, since I've been a council person. The resident that used to complain so much, I don't even think he lives there anymore. Thank you to the Nassau Street residents. We had a meeting at the police station. B.A. Hartwick set us up with the leaders of Our Lady of the Valley, Council President Wooten, and the Orange Police, and we were trying to figure out how could we solve their issues. They had major issues with parking and the basketball team, and I'm so pleased to say that it is a one-way. We're trying it out. My son was so mad. We were driving. He's like, who would make this a one-way? I'm like, do you live on Nassau? And I'm trying to tell him, I made it a one-way because that's what the residents on that street asked for, and that's what they needed to keep peace. So the one-ways, the permit parking, whatever, those type things that we need to do, I believe we're all on board for that, and our parking authority, I believe we all want that. We definitely hear that loud and clear. I mean, when residents come up here, we hear you. I just have to fix my facial expressions because sometimes it may look like we're angry at what you're saying, but it's truth, and sometimes we fully agree with you 100%, but a lot of us, we're one vote, it's 7 of us. So sometimes we have to convince other council people to not 100% agree with us, but vote yes or vote no and things like that. So we're a work in progress, and I know, I 100%, I know we're gonna get better. Seeing the young man do the flag salute as a teacher, You made me so proud. You're civically minded. You know how a meeting runs now, and it's not gonna be pretty, right? We're not gonna always agree, and you're not gonna always agree with your classmates. But if you can come to a common ground at the end, then it was worth it. So if you hear residents come up here, they're paying a lot of money. So they're letting us know we need you to do something differently. So when you go to school on Friday, right, you let your teacher know you were in a council meeting and you did the flag salute, okay? Because we're very proud of you for that. And you were in the junior safety committee, so you're gonna be a fireman. I'm a firefighter's wife, so but you can be a policeman as well. I don't want to get in trouble. And I'm be done real quick. Okay, voted yes. Oh, council president and myself, we wanted to plan a viewing of the presidential debate because we just feel like other towns are really off and running with this election that's coming, and it's a conversation that we, even though New Jersey is a Democratic, we get it, but you can't assume anything with this election, and I just think we need to sit together, we need to talk together, we need to figure it out so our young people who only listen to social media, I told my students today, you can't tell me you don't like a certain candidate if you can't tell me what it is about them that you don't agree with, because we don't want you voting for someone because they're black, white, tall, Jewish, gay, straight. We don't want any of that. We want you to be civically minded, and I think that's what Orange needs. And lastly, is there a way to get all of our meetings, and I mean all of our meetings, like the police meetings, all of these meetings, on like a Google form or something, because I want to plan meetings, but I don't want residents to have to choose which meeting to go to. So going forward, if we could just maybe start with October meetings on one sheet so we as council people can see where we can be, because sometimes if we don't show up for stuff, people think we don't care, but we could be someplace else. So I thank you. I got it out. I had to get it out. And again, we're council people. We're human. We hear you. We have to get better. We have no choice but to get better. And with your help and being in person, and I'm for the hybrid if we can do it, the more people the better, because I don't want to meet in the dark, and I don't want anyone to think we're trying to hide something from you. So come, tell us off if you have to, in a positive way. But we have thick skin, we got to take it. That we hear this is what we ran for. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Johnson.
I'm sorry.
Council President. Council President, can I say one more thing before you start?
Yes, ma'am.
I just forgot to mention, has anybody seen the library lately? We are getting the library power wash, and just so the residents would know, it's not your tax dollars, it's being donated. We were able to broker a deal with a vendor who's power washing our library free of charge. So we are, as council, we do look for resources that will not cost you any money, but will enhance and move the city forward. So we're looking at some other things that we're gonna ask, because we have a lot of people working in this city, making money on us in this city, and we're just asking that some of them, they're willing to give back. So the power washing for the library is being done for free. Thank you.
Thank you,
Council
Vice
President.
President. Councilwoman Hilbert.
Yes, I apologize. I have a question through you to the business administrator. Are we for certain that we are bringing the breast cancer walk back? I heard it through the grapevine that October 5th was supposed to be the pink out. Do you know about that?
I have to get back to you.
No, because that's usually coordinated through the health department, so you probably need to talk to Stephanie Cozy and of Vinnie, because they always do it through the health department.
Are any of them here? I think Stephanie left for the night.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can check with her tomorrow.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to throw that out there as Councilwoman Summers Johnson was mentioning. It would be awesome to know this stuff ahead of time so that we could plan accordingly and actually rally the residents to get more involved. We're spending the money regardless, but it's for you, and you should be there. So thank you so much for that, Council President.
Thank you.
Council President, just real quick.
Councilman Rowe.
I'm sorry. B.A. Chris, have a couple of street lights out in my area. Can you give me the PSCNG contact person so I can
Just call into Marty's office, ask for Keisha Lewis, and she'll take the numbers and report them on our daily report.
Okay, thank you.
I can give you the number of the liaison, Garrett, and he'll do it for you.
Thank you.
Any other council people? Anything else?
Madam President.
We're done.
So I just want to say I am so excited about being back in the council chambers. I didn't sleep last night. It was like a kid for Christmas. For me, this is just simply amazing. I know we don't do everything right all the time, but we try our best, and if that's what we can do, that's what we do. I went to the convocation to make today for the at OPA, and the energy in that room was like I was at a college step show. So you know what kind of college I went to, HBCU. College step show and homecoming intertwined together. It was such positive energy. And that's one of my objectives, and that's one of my goals, is to, when people walk into the city of Orange Township, they see that the team, who is all of us, have bought in. And when the team buys in, we all gonna be successful. And I know that sounds kind of like wah-wah with the violins, but that's what I truly believe. I'm gonna ask that we lift ordinance 28/2024 from the table. I'm asking for my colleagues to support that. That's the time change on Oakwood Avenue. And when we lift it, we will be amending it from Perot Street, as Councilman Coley suggested, to Wilson Place. Also with 395/2024, that's where we would have council meetings in various parts of the city. In addition to being in the council chambers, I also ask for council colleagues to support that as well. I do want to mention that all of your questions, like I said, were written down, and that's because we have such good minute takers, and sent to the administration. So I have some of the answers here, but I don't want to give you some and not give the residents all. So been speaking to business BA Chris, Hartwike, about how we can get that information out to you, because it's important for us to let you know that we hear you and that we are trying to get information out. For example, Councilwoman Easton spoke about Ropes Park, and she had some questions down on the little sheet about Ropes Park, and BA Chris will be getting that information back to her. But once again, I'm saying welcome to the council chambers. We're happy to have everyone here, and I'm just really excited and really ecstatic. This is something that we're doing. We heard your discussions or your ask about hybrid meetings, and as you know, we'll poll the council to see if that's something that the council would like to do, would like to vote on, because as Councilwoman Summers said, it takes 4 votes. So when we poll, it's up to the body to decide if that's something that they want to do. And I think that is it. So, Madam Clerk.
Ordinance on second reading, public hearing. 28/2024, an ordinance amending chapter 200.10.2 entitled Residential Permit Parking Zone A, permit parking hours on Oakwood Avenue between Central Avenue and Perot Street. Sponsored by Councilmember Wooten. Is there a motion to lift from the table?
Move, Wooten.
Second, Montague.
Motion to lift from the table by Councilmember Wooten, second by Councilmember Montague III. On that motion, seeing none, roll call. Councilmember Coley?
Yes.
Councilmember Eason?
Yes.
Councilmember Hilbert?
Yes.
Councilmember Montague III?
Yes.
Councilmember Ross?
Yes.
Councilmember Summers Johnson?
Yes.
Council President Wooten?
Yes.
This item has been lifted from the table. Are there, I don't know if we do citizen comments first. Are there any citizens who would like to speak on this? We just lifted from the table.
Ms. Banks?
My name is Amy Banks. I'm at 185 Oakwood Avenue. What does that exactly mean? An ordinance, what does that mean?
It means that whereas like right now, the police can't ticket until, I think it's 11 p.m. Is it 11 p.m., Councilman? On Oakwood Avenue.
I want to say 11.
They can't give people a ticket until 11 p.m. So what we're trying to do, Ms. Banks, is move the time up to 4 p.m. because we sit in our homes and we see people park at 4 and 5 o'clock, and they're parked there overnight, and they walk down to East Orange. So we're
Right.
trying to change the time from 11 to 4 p.m. and 6 a.m. in the morning.
But it seems like to me, the police don't even come by because the same cars sit there. You get up in the morning, there's been a car parked, well, 2 cars in particular, that's been parked there well over a month. You have street, well, like you said, parking overnight, that's a ticket if they don't have a permit. Then you have street cleaning, which is Wednesday, so that's 4 tickets right there that the cars didn't receive. So, you know, I mean, I've had cars sit in front of my place for a whole month. And nothing's done about it until I seen somebody that I knew and I said something to him and then it got taken care of. But other than that, police don't come through. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you, Ms. Banks.
Any other citizens? Motion to close citizen comments?
Motion.
Second.
Start over.
You gonna move and you gonna
Yeah,
say?
we said that exactly the same.
You go first, I'll go second.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Wooten, second by Councilmember Montague the third. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt Coley.
Motion to adopt with the amendment. We have to do the amendment. You have to do the amendment.
Okay. 28-2024, ordinance amending chapter 200.10.2 entitled Residential Permit Parking, Zone A, Permit Parking Hours on Oakwood Avenue between Central Avenue and Perot is being amended to Wilson Place and instead of Perot. Is there a motion to adopt as amended?
Motion. Second Coley.
Motion by Councilmember Montague the third. Second by Councilmember Coley on the motion. Seeing none, roll call. Councilmember Coley,
Yes.
Councilmember Eason,
Yes.
Councilmember Hilbert,
Yes.
Councilmember Montague the third,
Yes.
Councilmember Ross,
Yes.
Councilmember Summers Johnson,
Yes.
Council President Wooten.
Yes.
Motion passed. 29-2024, an ordinance to amend Chapter 200 Vehicle and Traffic, Section 200-38, Schedule 7, One-Way Street of the City of Orange Township Code. Are there any citizens who wish to speak on this ordinance? Motion to close citizen comments?
Motion.
Second Coley.
Motion to close citizen comments by Councilmember Eason, second by Councilmember Coley. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to adopt?
Motion
Move.
Coley.
Second. Wooten.
Motion to adopt by Councilmember Coley, second by Councilmember Wooten. On the motion? Seeing none, roll call. Councilmember Coley,
Yes.
Councilmember Eason,
Yes.
Councilmember Hilbert,
Yes.
Councilmember Montague the third,
Yes.
Councilmember Ross,
Yes.
Councilmember Summers Johnson,
Yes.
Council President Wooten.
Yes.
Motion passed. 30-2024, a capital ordinance appropriating $320,000 from the capital surplus fund to pay for the purchase of equipment for the fire department by and in the city of Orange Township in the county of Essex, state of New Jersey. Are there any citizens who wish to speak?
Ms. Gibbs?
Nordia Gibbs, Tremont Avenue. It's just a question, being that we just had a budget situation. I'm just trying to understand all these funds. $320,000 from the capital surplus fund. Is this just extra money we had laying around? I didn't get to see like the full, 30-2024. It's just a summary of what you're voting on. So maybe there's a bill list in there of what $320,000 will be spent on, what kind of equipment. So I'm just asking, $320,000, is that extra money that we just found that we're gonna use for equipment purchases? And equipment purchases for the fire department, do we have to spend all of it on equipment? Just it.
Start with the the last part first. Yes, all the money is spent on equipment. It's equipment that's necessary for the performance of their duties. The equipment lasts for sometimes 7, sometimes 10 years. It has to be replaced. It's on a replacement cycle, and this is the cost. The capital surplus fund is accumulated on the books when capital projects are canceled or there are excess funds in a capital project. It's either recycled through the capital budget or subsequently recycled into the general revenue fund. We had the capital surplus canceled into the capital surplus fund. Instead of issuing additional bonds or other bonds, we used those funds to appropriate for the purchase of this equipment.
It was somebody who wanted to speak, but he sat back down. Was there anyone else that wanted to speak?
Did you change your mind? Okay. Motion to close citizen comments?
Motion to close, Coley.
Second?
Second, Summers Johnson.
Motion to close citizen comments by Councilmember Coley, second by Councilmember Summers Johnson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt, Coley.
Second.
Motion to adopt by Councilmember Coley, second by Councilmember Eason on the motion. Seeing none, roll call. Councilmember Coley?
Yes.
Councilmember Eason?
Yes.
Councilmember Hilbert?
Yes.
Councilmember Montague III?
Yes.
Councilmember Ross?
Yes.
Councilmember Summers Johnson?
Yes.
Council President Wooten?
Yes.
Motion passed. 31-2024, an ordinance amending Chapter 210, Article 5, Section 32, Stormwater Control Requirements of the Municipal Code of the City of Orange Township. Are there any citizens who wish to speak?
Ms. Gibbs?
Nordy Gibbs, Tremont Avenue. Again, just questions because I'm trying to be familiar with the process. I know you don't really go into a lot of details because it's in a PDF that sometimes won't open on my phone. So just a little explanation as to what we're changing or amending for the stormwater control. I've never seen the bus terminal flood, ever, and that has happened during the rain that we've had. So I'm just checking to see if any of these amendments will kind of assist with the flooding we've had recently.
So every year or 2 years, the DEP changes the regulations regarding. Every year or 2 years, the DEP changes the regulations regarding stormwater control requirements. Each municipality is required to adopt an ordinance that's consistent with their regulations. In fact, the ordinance model comes from the DEP. It generally governs things associated with developments, changes in elevations regarding roadways, our responsibilities in terms of the collection of stormwater for new projects. It covers a whole host of requirements that are constantly updated by the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection. This ordinance comes directly from them, and we're required to adopt it in cycles.
Council President, can you just have to be explain DEP, who DEP is?
The Department of Environmental Protection for the state of New Jersey.
Any more questions?
Council President, I
Councilman
think she had a
Montague?
question about Dodge Street, Thomas Boulevard.
Well, I thought it was an observation, not necessarily a question. But yes, we've noticed that it flooded this time. It also flooded during Ida. We've made New Jersey Transit aware of it. There are some issues that may be addressed in this stormwater management control ordinance, but that remains to be seen as to what New Jersey Transit does.
Thank you.
Motion to close it.
Council President, through you to Business Administrator, I thought Thomas Boulevard was the project where we had started the process of getting the $8 million to fix the structure under so it didn't flood?
That's the project on,
We did, but not Cleveland.
yes, Cleveland and Lakeside.
But we also
where the
talked
road-
about
where the
before
road is
Thomas
being
Boulevard.
undermined.
Remember we did
We
Thomas
talked
Boulevard?
about the project on Thomas Boulevard, yes, but that's not part of what we applied for the grant for.
But are we applying for a grant for
As
Thomas?
soon as we identify one.
Yeah, okay, because I thought, we had this discussion last week. I thought.
No,
that-
I was talking about Cleveland and Lakeside. And that we did apply for the special appropriation grant from the Senate office.
Okay, all right.
And
So
that
New Jersey
application's
Transit
being
is
advanced.
involved in Thomas
Yes,
Boulevard? And
they
Lake-
have to be.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Motion to close citizen comments.
Motion to close, Coley.
Second, Montague.
Motion to close citizen comments by Councilmember Coley, second by Councilmember Montague III. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to adopt.
Move.
Second.
Motion to adopt by Councilmember Wooten, second by Councilmember Eason on the motion. Seeing none, roll call. Councilmember Coley,
Yes.
Councilmember Eason,
Yes.
Councilmember Hilbert,
Yes.
Councilmember Montague III,
Yes.
Councilmember Ross,
Yes.
Councilmember Summers Johnson,
Yes.
Council President Wooten.
Yes.
Motion passed. 32-2024, an ordinance of municipal council of the city of Orange Township, County of Essex, state of New Jersey, to approve and adopt the scattered sites redevelopment plan implementing specific development regulations and bulk zoning standards applicable to the scattered site redevelopment area, all in accordance with local redevelopment and housing law, NJSA 40A:12A-1 et sec. Are there any citizens who wish to speak? I know it's going
Point
to be
of order.
postponed.
Point of order. Do you
It's
too,
gonna be
Council
postponed.
President, I thought there was, Mr. Hartwack made a suggestion that we were gonna do what with the scattered sites?
Postpone.
We're going to postpone it.
Postpone it, so
To
if
second
we're gonna
reading, October.
postpone it, we're gonna do the citizen comments at the next meeting?
We can, yeah, that's fine.
So what should the motion be to our city attorney? A motion to postpone?
Motion to postpone, correct.
Yeah.
Is there a
to po-
motion?
Motion to postpone.
Motion.
Second.
Motion to postpone by Councilmember Eason, second by
Council President.
Councilmember Wooten on the motion. Seeing a roll call, Councilmember Coley,
Yes.
Councilmember Eason,
Yes.
Councilmember Hilbert,
Yes.
Councilmember Montague III,
Yes.
Councilmember Ross,
Yes.
Councilmember Summers Johnson,
Yes.
Council President Wooten.
Yes.
So this item will be postponed to the second meeting in October. 33-2024, an ordinance to amend and supplement the code of the City of Orange Township, Chapter 185, entitled Streets and Sidewalks, to create Article 13 entitled Street Construction, Repair, and Maintenance, sponsored by Councilmembers Ross and Councilmember Eason. Are there any citizens who wish to speak?
Rachel Tennant. During my 5 minutes, I had asked.
Vote it down.
About 185.
Hold on one second, okay. I've read part of the ordinance, but I'm not sure if the ordinance includes barring a developer for a period of time if they damage our streets or sidewalks and don't repair it. And if they will be barred, what's the period of time? Is it a year? One second, not finished yet. And also, you were saying that you would amend the fine.
Right.
It was $250. So my question is, did you amend it to a higher amount? And is that per day or is that per month? How
That's
does that
what,
work?
you finished?
Yes.
Yes, the recommendation is we're gonna vote this down today, so that we can amend the things that you're talking about, and we're gonna have a discussion with the administration as to, the fine has gotta go up, not down. Okay?
Yeah, definitely, okay. Okay, so you said there might be language in that ordinance?
Yeah, it's
To
gotta be.
bar that developer?
Absolutely.
Okay. So when would you clarify to the public how long of a period that is?
Well, I will do that after we have the discussion with the administration.
Okay. perfect.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Are there any other citizens? The recommendation is this is going to be voted down tonight. Motion,
I know it's being voted down and the fine is being increased, but when you amend it, we'll be able to comment again. Okay, so I don't have anything. Thank you.
motion to close citizen comments?
Motion to close, Ross.
Second.
Motion to close citizen comments by Councilmember Ross, second by Councilmember Eason. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion?
Motion for final adoption.
Second?
Second, Coley.
On the motion? Seeing none, roll call. Councilmember Coley?
No.
Councilmember Eason?
No.
Councilmember Hilbert?
No.
Councilmember Montague III?
No.
Councilmember Ross?
No.
Councilmember Summers Johnson?
No.
Council President East Wooten?
No.
Okay, this item did not pass. 34-2024, an ordinance to amend and supplement the code of the City of Orange Township, Chapter 200, Article 2, entitled Parking to Regulate Parking of Boats. Sponsored by Councilmember Eason and Councilmember Ross. Are there any citizens who wish to speak?
Ms. Cuevas?
Sorry, I just wanted more information on this. I tried to look up 34-2024, and I'm not really sure where we're seeing people parking boats and what the fine is on your street.
Yes.
No, I was gonna say, I'm thinking, can we table this? Because I do have a resident and he wanted some more information on us, on this, because as rare as it sounds, it's not all year round. It's like in the summer months. And yeah, so I just,
But the problem that I encountered was that there was 2-3 boats on certain streets that was taking up parking spaces. And people were complaining, okay, because it took up like 3-4 parking spaces.
I mean, we already have a parking issue, so
Right.
I'm trying to see what the fine is and where.
And we couldn't give tickets because it wasn't on the books.
okay.
So that's what this ordinance is for.
Okay, is there a fine in the ordinance right now? Because I couldn't find the ordinance online.
I think it was a fine of $250.
Okay.
Any other citizens?
Motion to close.
Motion to close citizen comments by Councilmember Eason, second.
Second, Coley.
Second by Councilmember Coley. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? A motion to adopt?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Eason, second by Councilmember Wooten. On the motion? Seeing none, roll call. Councilmember Coley?
Yes.
Councilmember Eason?
Yes.
Councilmember Hilbert?
Yes.
Councilmember Montague III?
Yes.
Councilmember Ross?
Yes.
Councilmember Summers Johnson?
Abstain?
And Council President Wooten?
Yes.
That's 6 yeas, 1 abstain, motion passed. Ordinance on introduction, first reading. 35-2024, ordinance to amend the code of the City of Orange Township, Chapter 200, entitled Vehicle and Traffic, Section 200-52-1, Handicap Parking Space, 26 North Jefferson Street. Motion to adopt on first.
Motion to adopt on first, Summers Johnson.
Second.
Motion to adopt on first by Councilmember Summers Johnson, second by Councilmember Eason. On the motion? Seeing none, roll call. Councilmember Coley?
Yes.
Councilmember Eason?
Yes.
Councilmember Hilbert?
Yes.
Councilmember Montague III?
Yes.
Councilmember Ross?
Yes.
Councilmember Summers Johnson?
Yes?
Council President Wooten?
Yes.
36, the motion passed. 36-2024, an ordinance to amend the code of the City of Orange Township, Chapter 200, entitled Vehicle and Traffic, Section 200-52-1, Handicap Parking Spaces, 107 Elm Street. Motion to adopt on first.
Motion Coley.
Second.
Motion Coley, second. Councilmember Hilbert. On the motion? Seeing none, roll call. Councilmember Coley?
Yes.
Councilmember Eason?
Yes.
Councilmember Hilbert?
Yes.
Councilmember Montague III?
Yes.
Councilmember Ross?
Yes.
Councilmember Summers Johnson?
Yes.
Council President Wooten?
Yes.
Motion passed. 37-2024, an ordinance to amend the code of the City of Orange Township, Chapter 200-33, entitled Schedule 2, No Parking Certain Hours, to revise days and hours of restricted parking on Cleveland Street, sponsored by Councilmember Eason. Motion to adopt on first.
Motion to adopt on first.
Second.
Motion to adopt on first by Councilmember Eason, second by Councilmember. Oh, motion
Summers
by
Johnson.
Councilmember Summers Johnson. Second by Councilmember Montague III. On the motion? Seeing none, roll call. Councilmember Coley?
Yes.
Councilmember Eason?
Yes.
Councilmember Hilbert?
Yes.
Councilmember Montague III?
Yes.
Councilmember Ross?
Yes.
Councilmember Summers Johnson?
Yes.
Council President Wooten?
Yes.
Motion passed. All the ordinance that were just approved, the final reading will be on October 1st, 2024. Consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered in its normal sequence of the agenda. Council members, are there items that you wish to remove from the consent agenda?
Council President,
Councilman Montague?
409.
Anyone else?
In 395, 2024.
$395.
Is that all, council members? The consent agenda consists of 385, 386, 387, 388, 389, 390, 391, 392, 393, 394, 396, 397, 398, 399, 400, 401, 402, 403, 404, 405, 406, 407, 408, 410, 411, and 412. Is there a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Montague III, second by Councilmember Eason. On the motion? Seeing none, roll call. Councilmember Coley?
Yes.
Councilmember Eason?
Yes.
Councilmember Hilbert?
Yes.
Councilmember Montague III?
Yes.
Councilmember Ross?
Yes.
Councilmember Summers Johnson?
Yes.
Council President Wooten?
Yes.
The consent agenda was approved. 395, 2024, a resolution authorizing a pilot program to hold city council meetings at locations other than the city council chambers to enhance community engagement, transparency, and accessibility, sponsored by Councilmember Wooten. Is there a motion?
Move. Wooten.
Second, Montague.
Motion by Councilmember Wooten, second by Councilmember Montague III. On the motion?
Yeah, on the motion, Council President, we just kind of got back here in the council chambers, and like I said earlier, I had some reservations, but we're back, and this is just me. I would just like for us just continue to have our meetings here, and then maybe, sometime down the road, we could revisit, going out to different locations. That's just how I feel about it.
So, Councilman Coley, would you like to possibly start going out in like February or March
How about the spring?
of 2025?
I guess that could be, A good time
Snow,
to,
what you
you know,
put?
I
revisit.
think this spring would be the
April?
best time, yes.
So April 2025?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Council President.
You're welcome.
Council President?
So,
I'm
I was
sorry.
gonna say yes, ma'am.
Continue.
Councilwoman Hilbert?
Yes, just to add to that, is it possible to add like a public health initiative to this, stating like maybe if any of the COVID or anything like that, if the numbers start to increase, then we'll do like not daily, excuse me, that'll cost us a lot of money. Maybe weekly testings of air quality or something like that, some type of measures to show the public that we are doing our best to make sure they're safe when they are attending the meetings with us.
We can absolutely follow the guidelines of the CDC.
Yeah, and I
So,
know, I mean, I would hate to minimize how many people we let into the meetings, but that's another reason why the hybrid would help us a whole lot, just in case of another emergency.
that's fine. So we'll amend it, if we can, to start in April of 2025, that's right? And just make sure that we follow the guidelines of CDC.
So do we want to amend it or vote it down and bring it back in April?
A lot of times we vote something down and then we bring it back and then it's totally, let's just poll the council.
It's up to the sponsor to bring it back, once the amendments is done. One thing that's happening is when we table stuff or we postpone it, the amendments never happen. Somebody has to follow up on those.
I would prefer that we just start scheduling the meetings in April. And we amend, oh, well, yeah, it didn't even say a timeline, it just said that we're gonna do it, so we just start scheduling the meetings in April 2025.
But you need to amend this to include the health component. So why wouldn't we just?
But
bring
we
it in?
always follow the CDC recommendations.
But I think it still should
anyway.
be stated. It still should be stated.
So do we have a doctor in the house? You're not a doctor. So just just start scheduling this in 2025, and we always follow the CDC laws anyway. So I don't think it's necessary for there to be an amendment. Attorney Ms. Rahi?
We can discuss that. I mean, I think there's multiple options we can take regarding that and include language that is all encompassing.
Okay. So I'm saying to leave it as is, and as the BA suggested, we will look at the CDC like as we go forward and before we get ready to schedule the meetings in April. So we'll do what we normally do.
So we're voting on
So,
April,
can
adding
you-
April into the amendment?
I'm sorry?
You're adding April into the amendment?
No, we're just gonna start in April because I didn't put a start date. There's no start date.
I think we
In
need
the
to include
resolution.
a start date in the resolution. That's my suggestion.
So colleagues, you wanna add April 2025 to the resolution as a start date?
I believe so.
Okay.
It'll give the resident, it's in writing and it will hold us to it instead of
Okay.
just saying, we're gonna do it.
Okay, so a motion to amend the resolution?
Attorney
Ms.
Ms.
Rahi?
Rahi?
Yes.
Do you have it in front of you?
So the resolution would read, in the now therefore be it resolved, the City Council of the City of Orange Township that the City Council shall hold regular and special meetings at locations other than the City Council chambers, including but not limited to community centers, schools, parks, and other public venues within the City of Orange Township, beginning on or after April 2025.
Okay.
A pilot program, you did say pilot, right?
He read
the
one of
title,
the
that's the pilot
recitals.
program is in the.
He
in
didn't read the
title.
title.
Yeah, I was just amending, reading the amendment to the resolved
recitals.
paragraph.
Wait a minute. Get back to it. Thank you. So, is there a motion to adopt Resolution 395, 2024 as amended?
Motion Coley.
Second, Montague.
Motion to adopt as amended by Councilmember Coley, second by Councilmember Montague the third. On the motion,
Council President?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
just want to note that even though we're moving it to April, you guys are still having your meetings in your ward. So that should suffice as a council meeting, really, because as the council people have their meetings, they're taking down the concerns of the residents, and they can bring them to the meeting. So it's the same objective. So we're not really missing anything. The Councilwoman James Simmons says she's having a meeting, Councilwoman Hibbert is having a meeting, and I just have to learn how to find a place to have one in the North Ward, which we are doing something in, I think it's September the 28th for first-time home buyers. So we're all going to be in our wards working so they can come out and do their concerns there.
But it's not the same objective because we don't have a body there. And if we don't have a body there, people are coming to a community meeting, which is fantastic, but people want to be involved in the council process. And this is a way to keep them involved in our process and to keep keep everything transparent.
But keep in mind, I know like for the North Ward, they're not coming to the South for a council meeting. So I'm just saying, sometimes it's a good thing and sometimes it's a bad thing, but we'll just vote.
Okay, so we're just gonna vote.
Yeah, Council President.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, Councilwoman Hilbert.
I was just gonna say, I am for the pilot program, but even though we're starting in April, I was gonna suggest the public health, the CDC guidelines regardless. So if we're voting to just postpone it to April, that's fine, but I am in favor of it because I do believe, like you said, to do the travel, that's us taking initiative, taking an extra step to get the people involved. We can't leave it to you only. We have to show that we are open-minded and that we are trying our best to bring the information to you. So I do support this pilot, and I think it's a great idea.
Thank you, Councilwoman Hilbert.
roll call. Councilmember Coley,
Yes.
Councilmember Hilbert.
Oh.
Oh, what happened?
I went home.
Oh, I'm on the wrong vote. Okay. I did. You said easy. Oh, okay, got you. Okay. Councilmember Coley.
I'm voting again?
You said
Yes.
yes. Councilmember Eason.
Yes.
Councilmember Hilbert.
Yes.
Councilmember Montague the third.
Yes.
Councilmember Ross.
Yes.
Councilmember Summers Johnson.
Yes.
Council President Wooten.
Yes.
Resolution adopted as amended. Council members, is there any other business? No. Oh, golly. 409, okay. 409-2024, a resolution reappointing Betty McLeod, a resident of the city of Orange Township, as a commissioner member of the Orange Housing Authority of the city of Orange Township, New Jersey, for a term of 5 years, sponsored by Council Member Coley. Is there a motion?
Motion Coley.
Second.
Oh, go ahead.
Motion by Councilmember Coley, second by
Council President.
Summers Johnson.
On
Council
the
President.
motion,
Oh, it's on the
Council President Wooten. On the motion?
Councilman Montague.
yes. Betty, could you please stand up, please? Congratulations.
Let's go with
Miss
that.
Betty.
First of all, I want to give honor to God.
Amen.
Without him, I wouldn't be here.
Amen.
Second of all, I want to thank every councilman person on this board.
And I want to give a special thanks to Kerry for believing in me. I just want to give you a little bit of what I do at Orange Housing. First of all, it's 340 Thomas Boulevard. Every day, I go and I knock on every tenant's door that lives in that building to make sure that they are alive and well. And it's very gratifying. So thank you again. Good job. And I need a ride home.
Thank you, Ms. Betty.
Council President,
Councilman Ross.
on the motion, I just wanted to say congratulations, Ms. Betty. I have been on the same board with Ms. Betty for a number of years. She is a worthy commissioner. You know, she's there all the time. You know, she supports the residents in 340. They like her, most of them. You know, because she's a tough commissioner. She don't play. So I'm glad to serve on the same board with you, Ms. Betty, and congratulations again. Thank you.
This roll call is wrong. Anyone else on the motion?
Yeah, Council President.
Councilman Crowe.
Ms. Betty, I've known you for a lot of years, and I just want to thank you for doing this thankless job over there, for always keeping things in line to the best of your ability and keep me informed when I need to be informed. I just want to thank you for doing what you do for your selfless service. You know, just keep it up, and you know where I'm at if you ever need me again. Thank you, Ms. Betty, so much.
Thank you.
Roll call. Councilmember Coley?
Yes.
Councilmember Eason?
Yes.
Councilmember Hilbert?
Yes.
Councilmember Montague III?
Yes.
Councilmember Ross?
Absolutely.
Councilmember Summers Johnson?
Yes.
Council President Wooten?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yay.
Council members, is there any other business?
I
If
do-
not, okay.
I do have an announcement. I want you to know that there's going to be a mammogram screening here at City Hall on September the 12th, 2024, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And this flyer will be coming out soon. It says it's the state-of-the-art 3D imaging, comfortable and discreet space, no prescription needed. Oh, it is? Okay, okay. So the flyer is out.
Yes, we have.
The breast cancer walk is going to be October 5th. October 5th. And we will get the information out where it's going to be held, because I know Councilwoman Easton in the past served on that committee with East Orange, so she'll get that information to us.
That's it?
Yeah.
Do we know when the next meeting is for the committee?
For the council?
No,
No,
for
the
the breast cancer.
Oh, okay.
Just, we'll get the information to you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second, Ross.
Oh, I was like.
Motion to